Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Double live today, you get me? Business as usual. You get me when it comes to these streams. We are back. We are here. We're here to give you content. Love every single one of you guys. You guys are absolute legends. We are here to talk transfer news. We're here to talk about what Chelsea just did to Fluminense. And now they are in the final. We'll see tomorrow who wins. PSG Real Madrid, going to be very interesting. But we're here to talk about all the different transfer news, all transfer activity. This is not just about Chelsea. We're also here to talk about Arsenal. We're here to talk about all these teams. Fonzie, like and sub. Did you just say Hondusam? You fraud. You also abandoned me on the stream earlier on. This is what happens when you're an anime merchant. Little fraud watching cartoons. Fraud. Anyway, number one, I told man about Joao Pedro. You should have listened. You didn't believe in the vision. I told you, baby Firmino, you should have listened. I told every single one of you frauds, baby Firmino, they laughed at me. And in the words of that fraud, you get me? He's a fraud. We don't agree with his political arguments, but...
You all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you?
Exactly. No one's laughing. Told your asses about Joao Pedro. Should have listened. And Gyokeres Madueke to make Arsenal better. Ederson to Man United. And that's not the City goalkeeper. That's the Atalanta midfielder. You get me? See, I appreciate people like this. Man like Denishan. You're a legend. I love people who come here when I have a take right and say you got it right. Because you guys are very quick to call us out when we're wrong. Fair enough. Come give prop when we're right. Yeah. Love you, Denishan. Shukri ya bhai. Fucking legend. Come here and say it as it is. Say it as it is, you bum. Not you, but like the bums who don't say it as it is. You frauds. Told your asses, Firmino region. You should have listened. Like, I'm not that excited about you, Pedro. Oh, look at me. I'm a snobby Chelsea fan. Growing up, I watched Didier Drogba. Shut the hell up. I told your ass about Joao Pedro. Told you. Go to my videos after the stream. Watch. Chelsea are cooking. Joao Pedro prop, habibi. Told your asses, Firmino region. Told you. Should have listened. Frauds. Anyway, speaking of frauds, representing Man United on today's fan base, on today's panel, you got me, Fraudulent Football Club. How you doing, Cam?
I'm good. Yo, ease up on the anime hate, bro. It's not cartoons. Anime's dope, bro. You gotta keep that shit. Keep that shit off stream, bro. I'm gonna back whoever watches anime, straight up. But yo, thanks for having me. Ready to get into it.
Big up to you.
Also, fuck Chelsea, by the way. Like, I don't want to hear anything about this tournament, but I guess we got to talk about it.
Pedro prop. I'm just
This damn. I like Jem put me in a bad mood today about this whole like we're going to a final, this and that, and I'm like, you beat nobody, and it's cool. I understand, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. I won't be disingenuous if they lose. I'm not gonna cook them because no one fucking cares right now. Like, I'm sorry. I know the content creators care. I know you guys have to talk about it, but no one cares about this tournament. That's it. Like, you beat fucking Fluminense. Who else did they beat? Like, I don't even remember the teams they beat. Benfica, some other shit team. Like, their team is literally worth $7 billion more than all those teams put together. Of course, they're gonna win these games. As soon as City fucking won, they were moonwalking. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. That's how much I'm gonna talk about it.
Fair. Guys, he's a United fan, by the way. Has nothing to do with me, huh? I'm telling you. Anyway, joining us next on the channel, you got me, our Turkish brother. Great football takes, despite the fact, you got me, he supports Arsenal Football Club. He's still a great guy, you know. And, he's here today without the hat. So you guys can see his hairline. Hi, Dick TK, mate. You're on mute, professional streamer. You cannot be on mute anymore.
Wallah, bro, I bottled it. Big up Cam as well for speaking facts at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Straight away, 5 minutes, and we're
wow, double hatred.
Here's some facts. Wow. You know what I'm saying? No, but bro, this was probably the best intro that you've ever made for me. So big up to you, Hassam. You know what I'm saying? And before we take off, I just want to take this moment to say rest in peace to Jota and his brother Andre Silva as well. But yeah, apart from that, I'm happy to be here. I've enjoyed Joao Pedro's great Gabriel Jesus preseason cameo. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how this continues in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Guys
So
are
big
going
up to you
in.
guys, bro. Big up to you guys.
These guys are going into this Joao Pedro thing, bro.
Yeah, bro. Big up, big up.
Anyway, from one fraud to the other, Dayo's in the building. Everyone knows ultimate fraud. By the way, just before I add Dayo, I want to say during the Jota situation, TKA was like had some of the classiest reactions. That's why I shouted them out as well. Unbelievable. Messaged me personally, privately, and as well publicly, and as well got involved in the cause that we raised money for on Thursday. So I appreciate that from TKA. Anyway, Dayo, how are we, mate?
I'm good, man. Sorry, I'm fixing up the
New
studio.
camera?
everywhere. Yeah, no. I'm fixing up the studio. Everywhere is a mess. The other camera is not connected. The other camera.
Just zoom out a bit. Just zoom out a bit, and you'll
I
be
can't
good.
zoom out. I have to move. So
Yeah, sit back. There you are.
so this camera is not connected right now. Just a whole bunch of I'm working on the whole.
Don't worry. We
I'm
trust you
fixing
to
up the whole
fix it.
place to. So right now it looks a mess. It looks a serious mess. But yeah, it is what it is. What's up, man? Tiki, happy New Year. Cam, happy New Year,
Big up,
Cam.
bro, big up.
What's good, man? What's good? No
Um,
baby today.
Yeah. So let's man, honestly, like, yeah, the Jota thing is one thing I haven't spoken about, and I intentionally haven't spoken about it because I didn't want, some people started using it for banter, like and I was like, no, you don't play with people's debts, especially when it's two brothers from one family. If you've ever had to bury a sibling or bury a child, you know how burying one feels, not to talk of two. So yeah, man, may he rest in peace, may his brother rest in peace, and my condolences to his family, to all the fans who genuinely mean him well. My condolences to you, to those of you who want to use it as a banter thing. uh, I hope the same never happens to you. That's all I hope. Yeah, so all that.
Big up, Dayo.
Having said that, the today's game, Chelsea, we'll talk about it.
Before you start, listen, we're not gonna have everyone attack
We'll get into
Chelsea
it.
without having a Chelsea rep. So we loaned him from Ahwa to today's stream.
I mean,
Hopefully he actually talks today, which is going to be unbelievable if he actually speaks. Because yes, actually it's funny because on Sunday someone messaged me. He's like, Ziad actually spoke 15 words today. That's double what he spoke last time. So they're counting his words. Anyway, hi Ziad, you good, brother?
Proper Chelsea, man. Listen, you lot can all hate about the Club World Cup. Listen, Cam, Arsenal fans, all of you would want that money. You would want that money, regardless of. Yeah, you would want that money so you can pay for your leaking roof. Okay, Arsenal would want that money so they can buy more of our bums. Okay, so don't tell me, City, you wouldn't want the money. You don't care. You want that money. You need that money. Okay, end of the day, we're in the final. We're gonna win it, bro. We're here. We're Chelsea.
Thank you for admitting it's a cash grab. I agree. I would have wanted
Everything
the
is a
money.
cash grab. Football is a
I would
cash
have wanted
grab.
the money. That's it.
This is all cash grab.
Said
Right now, this is
football's
a cash grab. Life is a cash grab.
Let me speaking of cash grabbing, let me grab these 3 super chats and then we'll talk about the Chelsea game. Big up to Andrew, says we are ready for Real Madrid destroyed. Hey, PSG slapped the shit out of Madrid. I'm here for it. I'll be honest with you. I'm here for it. By the way, if you're a Chelsea fan in the chat, my advice to you is sing Hala Madrid for the next 24 hours. Because if it's PSG, you're cooked, bro. I'm gonna be so honest with you. You're fucking cooked, bro. Fucking Robert Sanchez in goal as well. Nah, you're done out here. You're completely done out here. I'm telling all the Chelsea fans in the chat right now, yeah? If it's PSG, put the fries in the bag. Fries, take them, put them in the bag, because it's all over. Big up to Ed that says it's Cam a Philly guy.
I'm not from Philly. I'm Canadian. Normally I go by Canadian Cam, but Husam's giving me the nickname Cam, and I let him run with it. I am an Eagles fan, though. I am a big Eagles fan. Go Birds! But I'm not from Philly.
Let's go. See. Big up Cam, defend anime against this lone Lusam guy. Big up Dayo, the Arsenal shill. Big up Sad's online bodyguard. And Freddie Mercury is what Fonzie is saying. So everyone just gets the shit nickname.
That shit was funny. I saw that shit.
I think me, out of all people,
You know
insult
that
Sad
Vel's
the most.
original thumbnail includes Ziad looking as Freddie Mercury? You want me to upload and show you? I swear, I will literally upload it right now. It literally has Vel. This is how much Vel is an asshole, right? Vel is so much of an asshole as the thumbnail guy that he literally made the original thumbnail with Freddie Mercury instead of actually Ziad. And if I knew that he was gonna wear a tank top again, I would have literally just kept that thumbnail, bro. Watch this. I'm gonna upload it now on the overlay and I'll share it with you guys. Here. 3 seconds. Is it gonna be on the screen now? Yeah, this is such a fraud, bro. Here you go. Watch what Vel originally sent me.
What the hell, bro?
I swear to God, Vel sent me this originally. And then I was like, yeah, just put Ziad's picture. But he actually sent this. I swear to God, he fully did. So, yeah. Anyway, listen, big up to all of you guys. 1,000 people are already in the building. We haven't even started the show yet. Have some shame and some decorum and hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Every single one of you guys, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Right now, close the live chat, like the video, subscribe. Ziad's Zone, Banter on the Pitch, TKA Football are all in the description. TK is a streamer now as well, so go give him a subscribe as well. Big up to all of you guys. Big up to all the mods locked in. Let's get the likes up early because we can't have 1,000 people in here. We're not even at 100 likes yet. If you want Chelsea to win the final, you should like the video. And if you want Chelsea to lose the final, you should also like the video. So like the video regardless. You get me? Frauds, not even at 100 likes yet. Anyway, Ziad. Chelsea beat Fluminense. We'll let him talk first, guys. I know you're all like fucking angry wolves. Let him speak first. And then after that, it's open floor. Speak whatever you want. Go ahead, Ziad.
Listen, it's been the story of the tournament. Everyone's shitting on it. All the rivals fans, Liverpool fans, Murphy, whatever that guy's name in the Talk Sport, not caring about the competition. I'm not bothered. Listen, at the end of the day, the money's good. It's the first time the competition is happening. You get that badge for the 4 years. Who doesn't want to win it? Who doesn't want to win it? You know, yeah, listen, I'm not totally surprised we're in the final because we saw the run. We saw what side of the draw we were on. But now we go to the final. Listen, if we beat PSG or Real Madrid, no one cares about the run because look who we beat in the final. They're mad teams. Listen, credit to the players, credit to Enzo Maresca and Joao Pedro. Wow, what a debut. You know, last game, he was a crazy debut. And today, his first start, 2 outstanding finishes. And now I kind of see the way we're playing, why the club went for him, why Maresca wanted him, because the positions he's picking up and the positions in Nkunku starting on that left side is picking up. I see the vision. I see what we're doing. And to add another trophy, you add the Conference League as well, you know, to add it to the players and help them. Like we all said, it's a young team. It's a young team. And for them to win this competition and gain experience, especially if we do win the final, especially if we beat them, because like I said, it's no joke beating Real Madrid or PSG in the final. But yeah, listen, rivals can have their jokes. It's one of those, like, they're not in it. So, and if they were in it, I doubt they'll be saying they wouldn't care about winning it, and they wouldn't say, "Oh, who cares?" Nah, man, it's a cup competition, and it's important to win. But yeah, listen, Joao Pedro, you gotta give him credit, and I think it's time to talk about Nicholas Jackson, man. Listen, Arsenal, you're buying one of our bums already. You might as well come and get Nicholas Jackson while you're at it as well, man, because that guy is no, halas, it's finished. His career is over at Chelsea. He is nowhere, unless he wants to sit down and play in the Carabao Cup against Barnsley or something. There's not really a point of having him at the club. But if there's teams out there that are, I wouldn't say stupid enough, but if there's teams out there that wanna pay 45, 50 million for him, then he needs to go. And Chelsea are still looking to add to their team. Chelsea's not done in the transfer window. Gittins still got to play, have his debut and start. We're looking for a goalkeeper, we're looking for a centre back, and we're looking for another attacker. So it's not over. And yeah, a lot of Chelsea fans are going to sit here and say, listen, we want someone more experienced, we want this, we want that. But let the sport directors do what they got to do, man. Let Maresca do what he got to do. Because I think right now, yeah, it's still early, but I see what he's got to do with Joao Pedro and Gittins. I can see what they're doing. We're not going for these massive names.
Why was the someone talk about Inzaghi?
No, 100%. Listen, I don't change my mind on Inzaghi. No chance. But yeah, man, I think you got to relax and see what they got to do, because this is the transfer market and prices are the way they are. But it's exciting to get to the final. It's not surprising that we won, like I said, because of the side of the draw we were on. But if we get to that final, we win. It will be crazy for so many reasons. For so many reasons.
I was actually saying to Jem earlier that if you get to the final and win, to me, that's a bigger achievement. Like just beating like PSG or Real Madrid in any game, like one-off game, is a bigger achievement than winning the tournament at this stage. Yes, in 12, 15 years, if this tournament still exists and multiple big teams have won and it becomes something people truly care about, cool. I think obviously FIFA threw a bunch of money at it to make sure people cared. Because if they didn't, let's be honest, if the prize money was like 15 million or something like that, no one was playing their real teams. Like no one was going to care. It's like that's just the facts of it. I stand by, even if United were in it, I don't think I would have cared that much, because just based on how I truly disagreed wholeheartedly with bringing the whole point of it is to bring the sport to North America. Let's keep it a buck. And as a North American, I can speak about the massive mistakes they've made with it. We don't consume sport during the day like the rest of the world. Like, we just don't.
Yep.
We don't have, like, it's just not part of our ethos. It's not how we consume. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong one way or the other. We're much more like, I've lived in Argentina. I've been around the world. We're like, the way we are in North America is like, the work hours, the work day is the work day. Like, you will, like, I will watch a Champions League game when I get a chance. I will watch a Europa League game. Cool, I want it, but we want to watch sports in the evening. We want to be out there in the evening, out having our drinks and continuing it part of the night, part of like our party. And like, that's the thing. Like, that's just how we do it. Like, sports is part of that part of our life. We're not going to take days off, and like, it's just not going to happen. And that's not saying it's right or wrong. So when they set this tournament up and they're like, we're going to keep it the same way it's done in the rest of the world, it's like, that's why you have empty stadiums. You don't have people tuning in. You're not growing the sport right, because you're trying to do it the exact same way you do it across the world. And that was I had a huge issue with that. I was like, I would have liked to watch some of these games. There were some big games I would have liked to watch, but I'm like, I'm not about to not work during the middle of the day to watch Bayern and PSG play for a tournament that I don't care about. I would for the UCL because it's such a prestigious tournament, but this is different. So they set it up as a friendly exhibition tournament in the States, and they kept it that way. Like, they didn't give it the vibes that we would be looking for. You put these games like at 6-7 o'clock at night, I promise you would have had fuller stadiums. You would have had people being like, oh, what am I doing tonight? I'm gonna go watch this I will say it because it's in Canada. It's in the States soccer game. That's what they would be saying. They'd be like, yo, let me go watch it. That's what they would be saying. Yeah. So the reason for me, I didn't like that setup. I don't think they did it right. I don't think they did it justice, and I don't think it helped grow the sport the way they were planning to.
It's crazy you say that, Cam, because we know that.
Just before you speak, Dayo, I have to call out Lewis. I'm gonna call out this fraud. You see, guys, let me show you guys a Carefree Lewis. Let's all call out Carefree Lewis together. When you see this fraudulent cartel bags look like, you fraud. Let me tell you something right now. And never forget your reaction after Joao Pedro. And never forget this. When I told you he's gonna be the next Firmino, you were like, "Oh, these are big words. These big expectations." I told you he's Firmino region. Oh, these are big words. I remember what you said. You fraud. You never cooked Joao Pedro. You never disrespected Joao Pedro, but you weren't as excited as you should be. I told you I'd take him at Liverpool. I told you he's Firmino region. No one ever disrespect my football takes. You fraud. You Chelsea fraud. Sit on the floor and apologize for your Joao Pedro crimes right now. Right now. I said he's going to be Firmino region. Now you know why. You fraud.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't hate on that dude. After he sparked that joint up and said I'm smoking the Potch pack, I was like, I've never met him. I was like, I fuck with him. I was like, that was good. That made me. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I was like, I can't hate on that.
I agree with something you said. Go on, Dayo. Go on.
No, I was just saying, like, even the sport football here is not as big as other sports. It's not as big as basketball. It's not as big as American football, and it's not even as big as UFC. Sometimes, if you look at it here. And so for them to set up this competition the way they did here, I think it's despicable. FIFA.
Are you in the States, Dayo?
Yeah, I'm in Austin.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, okay. Like it's ridiculous. They should have done it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I'm not gonna. I haven't said anything bad about this tournament. The reason is I know it's going to be a big tournament if it stays on for the next 16 years. After 4 tries of this, if it continues, this is going to be a huge tournament. And if Chelsea wins it first this time around, that's an achievement for them. You can easily say we were the first to win it, and that's a good thing. It's a feather in their hat. It's a check in their pockets. The only thing I don't like about it this season is being the first time. It's almost like the teams that are playing there. Well, thank God my team is not playing there because injuries. I'm looking at Bayern, looking at Musiala out for the next 5 months. I can only imagine how that's going to affect them in the league. If you played in that tournament, fingers crossed that none of your players get injured. So yeah. Kudos to Chelsea for making it to the final, but if you're meeting PSG, just don't bother showing up. If it's PSG, just go home.
Chelsea, we gotta show up.
No, if it's Madrid, just go there, slap them around like we did. Give them like 5-1. Don't be afraid of those guys. They don't have anything. They don't. But
I
if
mean,
it's
this
PSG,
I can't
this will
disagree
be
with
their
that.
first proper test in a while, though. You know what I'm saying? Like Real
Mhm.
Madrid or PSG.
First,
You,
TK, you're not gonna avoid this because you came in flaming hot. You were like, Cam is cooking. Why are you respecting the Club World Cup?
no,
What is
listen.
it?
I don't disagree with a trophy because for me, I love trophies. You know me. Trophy is a trophy at the end of the day, unless it's the Community Shield. I don't rate that. But for me, it's what I don't like about this competition is the teams that they put in this competition. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
3/4 of the teams were just ass. Al Ahli from Egypt. At first, I thought it was Al Ahli from Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? And then I found out it was the champions of Egypt. And then you have teams like Al Hilal and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like the teams that they put in this competition. It could have been way better in my opinion. And I know you're gonna laugh at this, but even if you put Galatasaray in this competition, it would have been 10 times better than Al Ahly and them. You know what I'm saying? Because at least you have Osimhen, at least you have Lemina, at least you have Sane, at least you have some proper players instead of the players that they have. You know what I'm saying?
but
But from
Al Hilal beat Man City though. I mean, you gotta say, man.
I think we're doing
You
too much
gotta
with
say,
it.
brother.
no, I just
Why
bro.
We
I've
don't talk
always
about
said
that.
I
Okay,
have
so
no problem with continental champions being in it. First of all,
I'm just saying.
Trabzonspor is the biggest club in Turkey. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to the, I don't have a problem with Al Hilal, Al Ahli. They're all continental champions. I have a problem with Porto. I have a problem with Benfica, with Salzburg. These are the things that FIFA need to solve for the next one. People always say, "Oh, you're salty." I'm not salty. Wallahi, I'm not salty. I have no problem Chelsea being in it, City being it, whoever. Like they've won continental champions like over the last 4 years. My issue is, what the fuck has Salzburg done to be there? What has Dortmund
Yeah,
done
but
to be there?
what
Porto,
was the thing?
Benfica. You'll come tell me it's coefficient. Okay, but that's what I have a problem
Yeah,
with.
but Hussam,
Don't make it based on coefficient. Let's all be objective here. Let's say next time they put the 4 Champions League winners and then they put the 4 Europa League winners. That would make more sense.
yeah,
Like
but if you
Sevilla,
think about it,
Sevilla could be in there and it would make more sense than Porto and Benfica because Porto, Benfica have not even won a conference league over the last 4 years. Same with Salzburg, same with
But
Dortmund.
Hosam, can I say this real quickly? Hosam, can I say this real? This is the first time, and again, there'll be teething problems. So yes, you might not like the way they did the coefficiency, but they'll figure it out. The same way Champions League changed this season with the whole system of a league game in the beginning from last season, where it was just knockout group stages. You know what I mean? So they're gonna. It's a teething phase for them, regardless of what it is. I cannot hate on the teams that they invited because those teams have done whatever it is for whatever reason to be there. And the ones that are coefficient, well, lucky for you that somebody in your country did so well that you could actually get in. The reason we have 6 teams going to the Champions League this season, if I'm not mistaken, 5, I think 5, right, from England this season, is because of how well Arsenal and Aston Villa did. If we didn't do that well, as in if both teams didn't do that well, it'll be 4 teams going to the Champions League this season. So
the thing,
regardless of what it is, no, I'm just saying that the coefficient thing. If by proxy you're lucky to be in a country where your club can go to an international game because someone did something good, then fairs. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't, again, if you narrow it down and say only the champions of every country or every continent or every region, you might end up with a odd number where you don't have enough teams to play each other. So you still have to invite someone to make it
this is
16 or 30. You know
this
what I'm
is
saying?
the thing.
So
This is the thing.
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a month tournament. You can't just invite the best teams in the world that we think is the best. Oh, bring everyone else. Bring Arsenal. Bring United. Bring Liverpool. Bring Sevilla. Bro, this just becomes the Super League. Then you might as well make it the Super League. You have to, based on the facts, based on what they've done and what they've achieved. This is the teams. It's a month tournament. We can't have a month tournament of the best playing each other.
Yeah. And if it's FIFA, we're talking about the world. So you have to give like coefficient or
they're
not.
not bad.
That region needs
These
representation.
are some quality games. Some of these Brazilian teams, Al Hilal from Saudi played some brilliant football.
Yeah.
They played some very good football, and they've got some very good players. The only thing I would agree with is the timing. Putting it in America, and you got PSG versus Bayern Munich at I don't know, midday or something. That's a bit stupid. But I don't think it'd be a concern for the World Cup. People are saying what we're going to do for the World Cup. I think you've seen, if the big games are on, the fans will travel. Even today in the MetLife Stadium, I think that stadium capacity is about 70,000. It was basically sold out, and it was an early kickoff for them as well. It wasn't like a late kick. It was early kickoff, and it was almost sold out, 70,000.
Yeah, so a lot of the people who are there are actually people who travel to come watch the game. So
Of course, and they will do that for the World Cup.
Yeah, they will. I mean, the World Cup will be fine. I'm just saying, like, this particular tournament again. Let's remember that it's a world competition. So you have to give everybody has to kind of be represented to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying?
Otherwise, it will just be the Super League.
Africa, Australia,
You have
South
to.
America, Central America. You're looking at the Icelands. Like, everybody has to be represented. FIFA is for the world. Now, UEFA is for Europe, and we can't just narrow everything down. But like, it has to just be the best teams from. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with the teams that came. I mean, we finally saw that a team like Fluminense or whatever they're called is the one battling Chelsea to go into the final. Like,
Yeah.
where's all the other big boys? Where's Man City? Where are all these other guys? They're out. They've been knocked out.
There's been some quality games. Like you said, it's the Club World Cup for the whole world, but people want only European teams. Like,
I don't want only European
That's not the point of the tournament.
No, because if that was the case, so
that's why I disagree with TKA. If you notice, me and TK are saying two different things. Al Hilal deserve to be there. Al Ahly is the biggest club in the entirety of the African continent. Even Dayo will tell you this. Like, they win Champions League of Africa like consistently. Like, they're the Real Madrid of Africa.
But Hussam, my point also goes to teams like Salzburg.
They're the Bayern of Africa.
Do you agree? Do you agree that you would rather see Galatasaray than Salzburg in this competition?
Who?
Not Galatasaray necessarily. I'm saying this is.
No, it's just an example.
Why was Salzburg in the competition? Can somebody explain it to me?
Those are the Turkish champions.
So FIFA, let me tell you my logic. FIFA is saying we're gonna do it based on coefficient. I'm calling out that logic. I'm saying that's shit logic. Fuck the coefficient. Let's be serious here. If you are a continental champion of your continent, even Auckland, they won the Oceania Champions League, so it doesn't matter. Let them be there. My problem is, why is Salzburg there? Why is Dortmund there? Porto, Benfica? They don't deserve to be there. If for the next time they want to go like 4 Champions League winners plus 4 Europa League winners, that would make a lot more sense because you've lifted a continental trophy. That's the thing that matters for me. So let's say they look at the last 4 years. Okay, Villarreal, Sevilla, Manchester United, Tottenham. Let's go. Okay, at least they won a European trophy, so it makes sense. Salzburg, Dortmund don't deserve. Porto, Benfica don't deserve. This fraud right here is saying, I'm going to call him out. I've had enough of your Benfica slander. I'm a Champions League winner. Yeah, you were a Champions League winner fucking Eusebio days in the 1960s. It is 2025. You fraud.
So was it the winners of their like respective continents or whatever? Because I actually I literally didn't pay a lot of attention to this because of the way that they set it up. So I don't know how they set it up.
It was the last 4 Champions League winners plus the highest 2 coefficient teams from the 4 most highest coefficient nations or something like that.
Like, why wouldn't you just get like the different, like, for instance, it would make more sense if you figured out like different, I don't know, you split it up and you basically said like the winners of this space, like, I don't know, like a Belgian team who won the Belgian league or something like that. I don't know. It just would make more sense that way to me. Like, I get what you're saying with Auckland. Like, I think, and I heard what Dayo said, I completely agree that you can't just have it be because it would just be the Super League. So you do have to include the world. And I think we did see, a Hilal and the Brazilian team show up. I do think that's part of it, but it would be like, help me out. Boca was in it, right? Boca and River Plate were both there, right?
Yeah.
So like those teams should be there. Those teams should definitely be there.
Hussam, let's be a little bit more let's put nuance to this. So there's 2 ways you can qualify for the FIFA Club World Cup, right? By winning your Continental Confederation top club competition like the UEFA Champions League or the CONMEBOL Libertadores, or if the club wins multiple titles within the qualification period, which is 4 years, by a ranking system based on their performance in those continental competitions. So if you went far in continental competitions, like in the Champions League, if you got to like semi, quarter, and then you won like maybe your league in that 4 years before the Club World Cup, like you rank higher, which is, I think, people like Salzburg, who probably in that region, people like Dortmund, who made it to the semi-final, who made it to the final again, if I'm not mistaken, just about 2 years ago. And of course, have won their own stuff in about, I think the last time they won was 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that's what they're looking at. They say in the time frame of that period. So I think if people understand that, you'll understand why some of these other teams are being, allowed into the tournament. So let's not just, And Dortmund has been to a UCL. Yeah, so I think that those are some of the things you kind of look at.
The thing is as well, people saying, listen, I don't disagree because, like I said, I'm not that surprised we're in the final once I saw what side of the draw we were in. But that is the same thing with every cup competition. Premier League clubs win the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. I don't play anyone until the final or the semi-final. Like, it's just a cup competition. That's just majority of the times. If like when Man United won the FA Cup a couple of years ago, like really they played Man City in the final. Who else did they really play in the run? You might get a Brighton or a Newcastle midway or something. But 8 times out of 10, you're playing nobody until the final. this is just how cup competitions work. You know,
yeah, that's it, but it's fair enough that they're using two systems to justify to get the best teams. They're also saying teams that have been very good over 4 years and have gone far in all these major tournaments, who they actually allocate ranking points to. By the time it's almost like when FIFA is ranking countries, you're like, you start asking yourself, like, why is England, not top? Why are they fifth? Like, you're looking at the squad, you're looking at the players, you're looking at the quality, but you're not looking at the point system that they use. So,
okay, without having an
that's what it is,
existential conversation, what do we make of Chelsea actually making it to the final?
that's a good thing for them, man. Good thing for Maresca. Good for
it's
their
a
confidence.
massive thing. It's a massive
Yeah,
thing.
Because it's
right.
already started, Dayo. As you can see, Maresca more finals, Arteta, Gyokeres retirement. It's already started.
Oh no! See, like again, a lot of these fans. Thank you for the coffee money or the water money. You should make it $5 next time when you super chat things like this. But yeah, this is banter. Regardless of what anybody says, Maresca is doing what he needs to do with the squad that he has. If you as a club have spent 1 point something billion and you have nothing to show for it, then let's not play those games. It's a good competition, like I said, for me. And I think this builds a lot of confidence for this Chelsea team. Last season, I made a statement here. If you remember, Hossam, at the beginning of the season, I said, Chelsea squad, a talented squad, when they click, there'll be a problem. But throughout the season, last season, I think at the beginning, you kind of clicked and then you fell off. And then I was like, yeah. And I still maintain that when they click, there'll be a problem, a serious problem. Because what Chelsea has done as a system is to amass some of the best young players, talents in the world, and they literally have them all. These guys have 7 goalkeepers. Now, you can laugh at that, but be rest assured, these guys are training. It takes a season for a keeper to come out and just all of a sudden, the guy it has upended Sanchez. Realistically, 3 seasons ago, none of us were talking about Victor Gyokeres. 2 seasons ago, oh my God, who is this guy? Last season, oh, he's done it again. So
Factually, whether we like it or not, though, I'll tell you my take. Let me just grab these other 2. Big up to Muhammad John. Thank you so much for the super chat, my brother. Will there be Liverpool transfers? Not right now, but I do Liverpool streams. Like, so Friday there are 2 Liverpool streams. Thursday as well, I might run a Hussam X Tom Little, inshallah. So there's a lot planned. Look out for it on the channel, but not today's stream because we're kind of talking about other clubs, because this channel is for everyone, not just Liverpool fans. Big up to WMS. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. He says, Hussam, 100% right about the coefficient. Keep world representation, but in top teams notice only Freddie Mercury's and Chelsea fans argue about it. Thank you, and that's my point. Listen, I don't have an issue with Al Ahly. Bring Al Ahly, bring Al Hilal, bring all these clubs they deserve. Just don't bring me Salzburg, Dortmund, Porto, Benfica. Those are the ones where I'm like,
Dortmund. We're shitting on Dortmund for no reason, but Bayern Munich, Man City, Chelsea, Inter Milan, PSG, Real Madrid.
Yeah, they all deserve to be there.
On top of my head, that's 6 top teams according to the super chat.
No, but I'm not even talking about
in a month tournament.
Let
How
a
many
continental
teams do you
champion go there. Okay,
But
West Ham United have won more European trophies in the last 4 years than any of the 4 clubs I mentioned. Why should West Ham not be in it? Logically.
Okay, so
my point is, even if West Ham
logically,
were in it, you would be
hold
using
on.
the same argument.
Let me see. So, Hossam, the FIFA ranking system for how teams are ranked is different. That's what you're not looking at. FIFA actually gives points based on how far you go in all these major tournaments, based on what your performance is overall, how many semifinals, how many finals you have reached. Now, and they give points as well for things like the Conference League, but the Conference League points is not as big as the points that they'll give you if you're in the Champions League. So regardless of the fact that West Ham won a Conference League, somebody who is in the semifinal or the finals of the Champions League and gets knocked out of the finals still ranks higher under FIFA's ranking. That's where the coefficient thing comes.
Okay, but can I show you why you're all illogical? Because Zakar is mentioning it as well. Let me tell you, Champions League coefficient, only 2 clubs from one country. Let's say the next 4 years, all 4 Champions League winners, next 4 are all English. Now what?
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's the method that they're using. That's why you
Yeah,
have
but
those
that's what
students.
I'm calling
I
out,
know,
Dayo. I'm calling out the
saying,
method.
and I'm
I'm
saying
against the method. That's the point.
I'm saying it's a teething problem that we will have to figure out. If there's another way you can score teams to tell which teams are better or which teams are performing well, and again, they use a 4-year metric. They don't use a 1-year metric like us. They don't look at last season, so you won the conference league. They look at the last 4 years of what you have done as Dortmund. They look at the last 4 years of what you have done as Salzburg. FIFA is not using one season or half a season. Like if you
I
play
know,
a
but
friendly,
it's still wrong
hold
method.
on,
It's still wrong methodology,
If
regardless.
Dortmund plays a friendly when the season is over, FIFA ranks and it's a FIFA sanctioned friendly. FIFA gives them points and ranks them for that. So in 4 years, you can actually play your coefficiency up and get
it's
into the
same thing,
tournament.
though. But this
That's
is
all
no
it is.
different. This is no. I don't see how this is any different to a club winning the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, because how many top teams are in the FA Cup or Carabao Cup?
And then they get to go to Europa.
That's different because
No, but
Why?
it's true.
But
They do
why
get
is
to
it
go to
different?
okay.
Because
Listen,
it's the same
I
amount
really
of
don't want to
teams
go
in the
down this rabbit
competition.
hole because I want to talk about Chelsea. Let's talk about Chelsea. Let's focus on the club we're here to talk about. Guys, we have 1,200 people in here. Let's get the likes up. Have some shame. Let's just get 500 likes. I'm not being like greedy. It's a free button. It helps the channel out. Big up to every single super chatter. Big up to everyone who's shown us love. Let's just get the likes up. Close your live chat. Like the video and continue to enjoy the show, guys. Let's just target 500 likes, please. So here's the thing, Ziad. Winning the Club World Cup or not, now you're on the world stage in front of the whole world watching. Well, not the whole world, but a lot of people watching around the world. You're going to be facing one of PSG and Real Madrid. Even if you lose to PSG, like say 2-1 or whatever, it's not like an embarrassing defeat or anything. What do you think the expectations are on Chelsea next season? What's the true expectation of Chelsea?
They have to win the league.
For me, it's Champions League football. That's a must. That's not, and I would like to see us win it, get it more comfortable than we did last year, because I'm one of the few Chelsea fans that actually I'm not. I told you right, for me, I didn't like how Chelsea fans reacted to getting that Champions League spot. The first thing they did was go at Hassan's throat and go at the troops and go out these rival fans. I told that, bro, we scraped it. Simple fact, we got it on the last day. It wasn't anything special. So I would like us to see it get it more comfortable, maybe even third, depending on what Arsenal and the rest do. For me, I would like to see us win both cups in the Carabao Cup and FA Cup. And obviously, the Champions League is a Champions League, depending on, again, luck of the draw, in terms of who we play and when the points. This is a new system. It's the first time Chelsea are in it with this new system, so I need to get used to it. Obviously, and go as far as possible in that, because Chelsea, no matter how bad we might be in the league, we're known to go quite far in the Champions League, and I would like to see that continue. But yeah,
can you challenge next season?
I mean, can we challenge, and do I expect us to challenge? Is two different things. I don't think we will be ready. I don't think we will be ready to challenge. I don't think so. I think Maresca. Listen, I'm not. Maresca hasn't completely sold me. I think he's got to show me a lot at the start of the season for me to see. Maybe I can change that during the season. Obviously, it's a long season. We could come here again in Christmas, and I can maybe give you a different answer. But I don't think we will challenge.
Still questioning Maresca now?
Yeah. I don't think we will challenge. I don't expect us to challenge. But I think it can be a very successful season in many ways. If you get top four comfortably, you win both the cups, minimum one of them. And you do well in the Champions League, and we see what our new signings does, and it's an extra year for Palma, an extra year for Caicedo and Enzo, then we talk then, because it can be very successful. Because I'm not here for this. It's a young squad. They're inexperienced. They're young. They don't know what. No, we've got quality players. Palma is a quality player. Enzo Fernandez is amazing. Caicedo is amazing. Andres Santos was no joke. Lavia is no joke. Cucurella is, you could say, the best in the league in this position. Colwell is improving massively, but there is holes that could let us down, and we saw that today. And is that idiot in goal? That could literally let us down.
Imagine in the final, after all this,
that guy,
he makes a mistake and you lose 1-0. Oh,
we cannot go into the season with him in goal. And thankfully, I don't know who we're gonna sign, but I don't think we will have him as our number one. I don't know who we're gonna sign, but I think we will get someone. And in terms of the attack, we just see, because it's borderline a brand new attack, Delap still got to show a bit more. I think he needs to calm down with the way he rushes people and just MMA fighter. But it's an exciting time, and Maresca has shown glimpses of good things. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit and say we should or we're expected to challenge. But like I said, win both the cups. people sit and say, "Oh my god, you want both cups." Who won the cup last season? Newcastle and Palace. I'm sorry, man. Like I said, the luck of the draw is really not that difficult to win those cups. I think fans in general.
you shouldn't say that. I think both those teams kind of earned it at the end of the day.
They earned it 100%, but I think it's doable. I think it's doable to win both those trophies in one season. I think if you look at it,
if you win both those trophies, that's a good season. That's a very good season.
That's an amazing season. Because also, if you look at it, like the end of the Carabao Cup, but by the time that ends, the FA Cup is basically just getting started.
Yeah,
the final of the Carabao Cup is usually like end of February or something.
Well, that's why Jose used to always want to win it, and Pep too, because the feeling is it just gets you ready, like it gets your team going when you win the Carabao Cup. Like those two managers always talked about the importance of starting the season well, and that's to them like the real start of the season.
And that's what the Club World Cup does for a little bit as well, in a head start, especially if you look at the teams that we're going to play in the final. It will be a massive achievement. And so, like I said, listen, it can be a very successful season, but it's still to build on. This can change a lot. I couldn't tell you who Chelsea are going to sign now. In the attack, we've got options. Are we going to go Kudus? I think we walked away from. I know a lot of people want to troll and say, "Oh my God, he went to Tottenham over Chelsea." Let's be real. No one here with a straight face is going to say he's joining Tottenham over Chelsea.
I think he got rejected, but I don't think it was a bad thing. Let's make that clear.
Ziad, why did you do this? Why?
Hold on, let's make it clear. Like I actually think he chose, and this is where because I have beef with one of your players, and I hope he fucking fails and it's the lap. Because I think I'm gonna say it right now. Because I think sometimes these players don't think right sometimes. And when I look at a player like Kudus, he's looking at, I could go to Chelsea, a team that, unless I bang, they're going to sell me. They're going to move me on. I'm going to be benched. I'm gone next year. Like, that's just what's going to happen. That's facts, right? Like, let's keep it a buck. You're already looking at moving Jackson and Madueke. Like, you guys aren't moved. You don't give players time. And I'm not saying that's the wrong thing. Kudus is looking at two situations. I could go to Tottenham, big fish, lots of playing time. I can show my stuff. Maybe that gets me another move later on in my career, or at least it gets me playing football at a high level. I'm not saying Tottenham's not a high level. I'm just saying it gets me a chance to get to a big club because Tottenham is still considered a much bigger club than where he's at. Versus going to Chelsea, where there's a lot of uncertainty about where he would play, role, competition, all these years coming up. But then my point is with the lap, this Chelsea or United. All right, I get it. We're not great right now, but you were literally going to walk into a situation where you are nailed. You are not being sat. You are playing every game at the biggest, whatever song we can get into it, biggest club in England. Like you are walking into that situation where you get to play day in, week in, week out. You don't wait for Chelsea to finish their business. Chelsea go and get Joao Pedro, and now guess what? That man's going to be glued to the bench. He is not. He's going to play some games, but if Joao Pedro is better, which I think he will be, you know this yet. Your team is not going to go, we gave you.
What if Joao Pedro plays in the 10?
I think he's good. I think if you watch the game today, I think.
So why will you play Cole Palmer?
I think Pedro will replace Nkunku, and then Delap will be up front.
So where's Palmer playing?
Where's Palmer
playing where he played today in the 10. Pedro is just replacing Nkunku. Nkunku played more on the left today.
What was your formation today? Because I didn't watch. So
that's the thing with this. It's like Pedro was left wing, Nkunku was right wing, Palmer was like a right 10, and then it was Pedro up front. But they are all interchanging a lot. I think Nkunku's I think the only reason Nkunku is staying is because clearly something happened with Maresca and Madueke, and he's not playing Madueke. But I think my prediction and what I probably want to see for the final is just Delap up front and Pedro to replace Nkunku. Because Maresca said in the press conference as well, the difference between Pedro and Jackson is a striker.
So why are you playing
Gittins? Where's
Gittins going to play?
Thank you. Yeah, we're both on.
It's a 20-year-old man. We don't.
No, hold on.
But we need options. We need options. Not every signing has to be a starter.
Did you spend like 55 M's on him still? You know what I'm saying?
42. But listen, hold on. I saw a tweet from a very reliable Man City fan saying who starts, Marmoush or Doku. Marmoush was bought for how much, and he's on how much a week, and they don't even know if he's starting. So Grealish is 100 minutes sitting on the bench week in, week out. We need to have options here. Arsenal, Ziad the other day told me Arsenal were going to sign about 5 attackers in one window. So I mean,
Grealish was
you
a
need to have,
failure.
you need
No,
to
They
have,
but
didn't
no,
want to
but
do. They
but
didn't want to
you
and
replace.
also
it's
you
a long
also
season.
laughed,
You need
but
options.
you also laughed when he said we want Eze to be a rotation piece with Odegaard. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I'm saying I don't see Eze going to do that. Whether
So
you do that or not,
Gittins was
I don't think he's
48.5
going to.
million. That's a lot with potential to go up to 51. You're basically saying, and this is fine. Like if Chelsea want to spend money like this just to have a dude who will be a rotation player, cool, we can call it that. But the point is like the point I'm trying to make is I look at a player like Delap and all these other players where it's like you had guaranteed. Like this is the thing where you go to Chelsea. If you have other options, why I think Kudos, in my opinion, you did get rejected because Kudos was looking at this being like, I could cost 65, 70 million and not play. Like that's literally what you're saying.
The Kudus thing from reliable Chelsea ITKs or whatever is that Chelsea really wanted Kudus. We wanted him for many
حبيبي
years.
Fabrizio said he rejected. خلاص, allow it. I know you can't handle rejection.
He
خلاص,
rejected.
just allow it.
No context. He just rejected.
خلاص, he's told Chelsea no. He told Bayern no. He wants to go to Spurs. خلاص, I
Okay, no problem. So you have no. So you don't. You didn't give context when Caicedo came. to
Context
Chelsea.
is Fabrizio said it. That's the context.
Okay, no problem. If you want to sit around
I'm
and
curious
judge
what the context is. I am curious because, like,
yeah,
what is the
Hassan, must be. It's not ruining the show, man. The context is a very reliable Chelsea fan said that Chelsea want Kudus. Kudus is itching to join Chelsea, but they both have different ideas for the player. The player wants to play more centrally. Chelsea want him to play more out wide.
Yeah,
It's as simple as that.
so that's
Yeah, but that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. Though
what I'm saying.
We're saying like you have a plan to play him out wide. He says, "Look, I want to go to a team where I can play more centrally.
Yeah.
I back myself to play more centrally. But here you already have Cole Palmer in the middle. You brought in Joao Pedro. You brought in Joao Pedro as
Esteban
well.
wants to play. Esteban wants to play.
Esteban
more in the
wants to
middle.
play that. So you know that's you
So
have
we
to
said
look at it.
we said no, thank you.
I don't know, but you have to look at the player and say to yourself, you know what? Hey, if you're not taking what I'm doing, I'll go somewhere else. You know, I mean, and the truth is, there is nothing wrong with players rejecting clubs. Players that rejected.
Just not to cut you off, but let's say it with a straight face. If Kudus wanted to be a right winger, he would come to Chelsea. He would.
Yeah,
go
but
to
that's the
Tottenham.
thing. He doesn't though. So that's like
Yeah, so Chelsea were like, so said we were interested in you. We know you can play right wing. Would you
Yeah,
like to
but
play right wing? He said,
he
no, I
said
want to play
no.
in midfield.
No, I
We
mean,
say,
yeah.
okay, salam alaikum. That's it.
Yeah, but I take that as you got rejected. And again, it doesn't matter. It's semantics at this point.
Yeah,
But I take
it
that
doesn't
as you
really
got
matter, man.
rejected.
Anyway.
Even if we didn't,
Ziad, can I ask you something?
Chelsea will move on, man.
Can I ask you
Yeah.
something about your transfers though? Because I feel like your team is good enough because, like you mentioned, the Palmers, the Enzos, the Caicedos are, in my opinion, very talented, very good players, and those players are talented enough to actually challenge for leagues and actually challenge for Champions Leagues as well. You know what I'm saying? We all agree on this. Those three players specifically are good enough to go out and challenge. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you still buy young players like Delap, like Gittins, isn't that giving you a little bit of red flags because of the fact that the Chelsea I know, the Chelsea I grew up watching, would have bought Osimhen regardless of his wages. You know what I'm saying? Because Osimhen is the perfect Chelsea player, literally. He
Is he though?
he fits you like a glove. I watched him for a year because I'm a Galatasaray fan. I watched him for a whole year, and he's way too good for the Turkish league. I don't even understand why he's joining Galatasaray. You know what I'm saying? He would actually no, 60 million a year, Cam. You know, so it's not that much. But
More.
for
I
me,
thought it was more.
How much are you paying him a year?
16,
I thought it was way
what?
more than that.
How much?
16 million a year.
No.
How much is that a week?
I don't even know, like 300k or something around there. I
thought it was
did
like
not do the math.
500K.
Yeah, but TK,
I
you
did
have
not
to-
do the math, bro.
TK, you have to
Someone do the
understand.
math.
The math will be about 1.4 a month, which is going to come to about, give or take, roughly 300, 320 a week or whatever. But here's the thing.
Okay. Which
Get the
is
hell out.
worth it
I don't know.
for a player like him.
No, but TK, here's the thing though. You have to look at the new model that Chelsea has already adopted. Chelsea has adopted a 8-year, 9-year contract with 150, and for you to get anything above 150, performance-based bonuses. Like
I know, I
and
understand.
that's what the
Listen,
problem is.
That I understand, but I feel like you do need one or maybe two big players in your team to
They don't
make
want that.
this
They don't.
Chelsea
I know,
team
but they don't want that
go
model.
out and actually be the team that they actually need to be. You know
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
they
saying?
don't want that. They
I,
don't want that model. Though.
I understand where Ziad's coming from and saying I want a cup double and Champions League football with the current team that they have right now. But this Chelsea team can do way more, in my opinion, bro. Because when are we gonna sit here and say Chelsea must? You know what I'm saying? If they keep buying young players like this, when are they gonna actually go out and challenge for the leagues? In my is my question.
Okay.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
so can I'm not. This is not me defending Chelsea, but if I want to be fair, like I'm always fair to everybody's team, is I think they have decided that they will take a slower approach by getting younger players to stay with them for longer and blending those younger players and those talents over 2, 3, 4 seasons. Then that's when they want to challenge. They've probably resigned themselves as the owners that that's how we're going to set our model. But we know that if they add experienced players right now, it will catapult them up 2 levels, right? But they don't want to do that. They've actually gone with this long 8-year. That's why a lot of their players on 7, 8-year
Dayo, I
contracts.
have a different theory though.
And
I
I
hear
think
what
that
you're
that's what they
saying.
want to go for. So
My theory with them is that they're taking stabs at getting the next best player in the world at positions. They're doing like the Quenda, for instance, just pissed me off as well. Like they're hoping that what we saw from him last year as like, you know, at that position at his age, he could turn into the best player in that position. The Palmer, like that, I think that's what they're doing. I think it's like, I get what you're saying. They're trying to blend them together, but I truly think they're going, you know what? Instead of us paying for the best player and just getting him, let's see if we can keep buying these youngsters like an Estevez
like,
and
Cam,
see
Cam,
if that guy turns into
Cam,
Neymar and
Cam,
see if that guy turns
two
in.
things can be true. I agree with you, but like I said, they're buying the best young talents, and if those talents emerge to become the better players in the future, guess what? They've spent 3, 4 seasons together. Now, all of a sudden, you have a squad experienced enough of 26, 27-year-olds who are now the best players in their prime, all at Chelsea
Their
at the same time.
problem.
That's a problem.
It either works or it doesn't, though, because it either do it perfectly, where these players all figure it out together and they all start clicking.
But you have to realize it either works or it doesn't. But
Or they
sleeping
get blocked.
no. Sleeping is a risk, but we all sleep, right? We hope we wake up. So they're taking a risk, and that's what you do in business.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think
They're
as
taking a
well.
risk, and if the risk pays off, look, here's what I said last season. If this pays off for Chelsea, Chelsea will win almost everything and anything back to back when all those players are in their prime. And if they're all the best in their position, they will win almost everything back to back for at least 3 or 4 years. I guarantee you that if this pays off. If it doesn't, guess what? They still have a long contract on these players who will be top players that they can sell at good price, good money.
I think as well.
The model
It's
works
more likely
either
to
way
fail,
financially for them. Or guess what? At that point, they could be like, we have 3 midfielders who are in the same position. All 3 of them are average. They're not really, you know what? Let's sell each one 40, 40, 40. They get 120 and they go and buy the best midfielder at that time.
But Dayo, I actually agree. But what TK's saying is like when you're this close though, and I hear what you're saying, you're actually more likely to fail in this route than if instead, like the Delap, for instance, you needed a striker, right? Chelsea's got tons of money coming in. If they went and been like, you know what, instead of Delap, word respect. Instead of Delap, you went and spent the money on Victor. Let's just say they did that. We would be having a very different conversation about Chelsea if they were like, screw it. We feel like we've got enough youngsters. They can grow with him. Like Victor's not old. Now all of a sudden we're talking about them challenging while these players grow. So I do think they missed a trick a bit in that situation where you needed a striker. So why did you go get Delap when you should have, in my opinion, you are Chelsea Football Club, gone and got Victor Osimhen?
They've already set up a system that restrains them from getting these top players because of their salary structure. That is where the issue is. Like if you set up a club and you said, this is how I want to go, and I'm going to set a salary cap, and if you're going to get more money, it's based on performances, it's based on how much you give to the club, the goals you score in the season. If we get to Champions League final, that's the only time you can earn more than that 150. No top player worth their onion will want to come to your club and earn 150 and prove themselves. Like, why should Victor Osimhen want to come play for 150 when he can stay in Galatasaray and earn 300-400 a week, right? And still 340 a week, or he can go back to Napoli and earn 320 and sit on the bench. Like he's earning double playing there and still playing in Champions League, whether he wins Champions League or not. You know, and he's winning trophies there with them.
Yeah,
so,
let me. I do want to move on the conversation from Chelsea. Big up to Netweed says, if Teta somehow messes Gyokeres up, I swear, oh boy, is what Netweed is saying. Don't worry, we're going to have the Arsenal conversation.
Yeah.
Big up to Fonzie says, Osam hates Benfica because his club bought Nunes. You're a fucking Liverpool fan as well. Why are you scoring own goals, you bum? This fraud scoring fucking own goals, bro. Chill out. Why are you scoring, putting the ball at the back of your own net, mate? Anyway, big up to you, man. Big up to everyone who sends in a super chat. Big up to everyone who shows us love. Guys, we're not even at 300 likes yet. You need to have some shame and decorum. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Shall we talk about United first or Arsenal first?
Let's do United because I gotta go cook dinner in 20 minutes, or I'll never be allowed to do this again.
Okay, let's talk about Man United. So, first and foremost, as I said, guys, please let's get the likes up, and then we'll talk about United first, and then we'll head to Arsenal as the second topic. So, guys, obviously with Manchester United, there's been a lot going on. Let me just give everyone the rundown. There's been all sorts of mid strikers linked to Manchester United. Jamie Vardy, like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, has been a madness. But the good news today, I did see that United are interested in Ederson of Atalanta.
Where'd you see that? Because I didn't see that.
Transfer News Live. It was just one of the transfer aggregators. So anyway, tell me your thoughts, Cam, on the United situation.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say this: the amount of, I'm gonna call it fake outrage, because I think it's fake outrage that people are having right now about United, like United fans are having. It's like, what the fuck did you expect? When we didn't make UCL, it was like the whole reason we wanted Delat and Cunha was because those deals were easy. There's release clauses. We didn't have to get into bid wars. We were just cool, we'll pay the money. Yeah, we tried. The fact that people, and I've heard you say it, oh, you're just going to negotiate, and then pay what the people want. Well, I'd still rather us negotiate. And again, Hussam, I watch you, so I'm going to use a lot of the things you've said, where you're like, oh, you talk a lot of shit. And I've been waiting to talk to you about it. Where you're like, oh, the first bomba for Mbuemo was over a month ago, and we still haven't got over the line. Okay, so it's either... I would agree, and I wouldn't be upset if United if they didn't actually put in a bid. We actually put in a bid. So we did try to get the player for less than what they're trying to do. It's not like we waited and then all these deals happened and the price went up. Oh, we put in a bid before all these other deals happened, and we still got rejected. So it's like, at the end of the day, United still are trying to do the right thing. For years, we've done the wrong thing. For years, we have done the wrong thing, and we have been destroyed for it. And now we're negotiating correctly. We're taking our time. We're trying to get we went after the smart deal with Cunha. We tried to get a little better than we could, but we couldn't. And it is what it is. We got decent terms, but we still couldn't get what we really wanted. We wanted the lap for the same reason, because I was supposed to be, boom, easy, 30 million, no problem. We had that money. So at the end of the day, now we got to take our time with it. We truly can't just jump in there and be like, fine, Brentford, you want ADMs? Here it is. We fucking did that with Anthony. Look where that got us. Like, if it turns out that Brentford goes ADMs or nothing, walk away. It is what it is. You have to, at some point, let teams know, like, we can't, we're not going to pay because you say it's like, that's what we want. At the end of the day, we've given them a fair offer and we're sitting on it. We have to do that. We cannot go back to the days of us just being like, oh, okay, you want 80? Fine. Harry Maguire, 80 million up front, like that dumb shit. We can't do that anymore. It's like, we're not built like that at this point. So for me, I'm sitting here watching everyone being like, we started preseason and we haven't made any moves and everyone's screwed. It's like, yo, relax. Like, it's going to happen. Who are people like, I can't remember who it was. Somebody, I think it was Seek or somebody's like, oh, we play Arsenal on that first day against Gyokeres and we're going to get killed. I'm sorry. What smart United fan thinks that game against Arsenal, we're going to go in and win? This is what drives me nuts about sport. Like, when you watch sport, you have to have some sensibility. Like, yes, anything can happen. If we start off the season, we look great and we beat Arsenal, great. But am I going to sit there and be like, oh my God, we've turned the corner? No, it's going to take me half a season before I can say United's turned a corner or what we look like. I'm sorry. I think I'm a smart person. I can't think I'm a smart person and go, oh, you know what? That Arsenal game? Yeah, we're going to slap them if we get everybody in by July 7th. Yeah, all of a sudden it's like, yes, we play Arsenal tough. We always have. but they're a better
but
team.
everything I've said is something that your own fan base is criticizing the football club because
But
when
I'm
Man United finish 15th, whether we like it or not, you have to do a lot of work. Now, I'm not talking about negotiating. I'm talking about how long you've taken to negotiate.
I'm going at those fans though because I don't agree.
Yeah, but
Because
you can negotiate Mbuemo's price down in like a 5-day, 1 week period. You don't have to go.
do you
a
think
whole
we
month.
haven't been trying? Do you think we haven't been trying? Do you really think
Yeah,
they
but it's not been reported that you've been trying.
bro, do you truly think?
How would you feel if you get any of those players that you were linked to today? Calvert Lewin, blah blah blah.
Okay, let's keep it a buck. Do you truly believe, like, and this is another thing we always had problems with, leaks. Everybody was so tired of leaks coming out of our club. We didn't get many leaks about certain players or whatever. Like, in my opinion, do you really think that they are just like, oh, we put in the bid for Mbemo and we're just sitting on our hands doing nothing? They probably
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying from when the reported interest was first made, you could have made multiple bids, you could have made multiple attempts, but
why
that's
make
not
multiple bids if they're telling you we're not going to accept it.
reports. Yeah, but I can only go based off of reports. I'm not speculating. At the end of the day, we know you put in one bid, it got rejected, and then 3 weeks later you put in another bid.
Yeah,
That's all we know.
And it got rejected. So here's my point. It's like we clearly have been doing work. Now, these mid players we're all linked with, I don't buy any of it. I'm sorry. Like, I haven't heard it from any credible sources. Like, this is the thing. I'm consistent. If you were linked with the Dominic Calvert-Lewin when you guys
today a credible source linked you to Moise Kean, Fiorentina striker.
That one I believe it because we like to go shopping in Italy. That's facts. And I was ready for this. I was ready for this one. I actually don't hate that so much. I don't. I hate the fact that we're going back to Italy. I will say that. I hate that.
Now the mighty have fallen. United fan taking Moise Kean, big 2025.
Here's the thing. He was trash for Everton. I agree. He was terrible when he played for Everton. He was a lot younger. He was
terrible at PSG as well.
Yeah, but he didn't get an opportunity the way he should have. Like, at the end of the day, he's a striker, and most strikers, when we think about strikers, sorry, you want to go down the list of strikers in the world. How old are the best strikers in the world right now? Are any of them younger than 21?
It's a 27-year-old Swedish guy. Cam, if you want to know.
No, but you have him, you have Holland. Like, you go down the list of strikers, even in the Prem, all of them are how old plus? I was ready for this question. They're all 24, 25 plus. Like, strikers take time to hitch their strides. I watched Serie A. I didn't watch a lot of Moise Kean. I saw some of his games, not a lot. He looked pretty good. He had 19 goals. And
what about Nicholas Jackson, man? I got Nicholas Jackson for you. Come on.
No, I got no interest in Nicholas Jackson.
Why not?
I'm gonna go down the list here. He scored his goal, or he got his returns in games against Atalanta, AC Milan, Napoli, Inter Milan, Lazio, like all the big teams he returned against. So it's not like he was just hunting against shitty teams either. I was fucking ready for this. It wasn't just hunting against bad teams. He wasn't a flat track bully. So for me, that's one of the links where I'm like, hey, yo, if that's our backup, cool. He's better than Højlund. We do need a better striker. At 44, whatever the price is quoted, that's a backup price. That is a backup price. That's not your quality price. I will say nothing hurt me more than the Victor Osimhen news. Nothing hurt me more. I was devastated. I was quietly sitting there praying.
Why? You said Moise Kean would be good.
No. Let's keep it a buck. I was sitting there.
He just said that was his backup striker. That's what he wants for his backup striker.
The best striker.
Never gonna pay his wages though.
Best striker, exactly. But at the best striker who was sitting there, I was like, there might be a world. Who knows? Maybe we come in and we say fuck it, and we go and get the best striker that's on the market right now, which is Victor Osimhen, in my opinion. I've held that opinion. I like Gyokeres, but I've always liked Victor over him just because. Like, I could go down a list of reasons. I was praying, and then I saw the reports, he wants $340 a week. I'm like, they're not going to do that. But I was praying, and that hurt my soul that a player that good, who's on the market, United of old, the same way we talk about Chelsea, we would have bought him. We would have paid for him. We would have said, fuck it. You got $340 a week.
Let me tell you what's crazy about Victor Osimhen. He's Nigerian. The guy turned down Saudi, who were offering him the salary that he wanted.
50 million a year. They offered.
They offered 50 million a year to this guy. He said no. He said no, and here's the thing: he knows what he wants.
I wish someone would offer me 50 million a year. The shit that
bro. I would not even think about it, but I would.
So realize something. I would realize it's not about the money for. It's not about the money for Osimhen.
Paint my house that club colors.
It's not, but he's not going to take a pay cut.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's
by the way, Saudi money is tax free as well, bro. Osimhen, you're a dumbass.
And to be fair, what I know from Osimhen,
because Dayo, it's tax free as well. So you know he's a fraud for rejecting that. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, like I said,
But-
listen, like I
but-
said,
but
see,
the-
he
but the
has
thing
his,
with
he has his
Osimhen is-
motives. Whatever his motives are, fair's on him. I can't
Fair's
knock
my
him out.
ass. Call him out.
No.
Call him out.
I can't, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I can't
but
call him
Dayo,
out.
but Dayo,
Because-
you know Osimhen, and you also know that he wants to play Champions League football, and United
exactly.
don't offer him that as well.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
Let me tell you why I said fair's on him. I'm
Yeah,
Nigerian.
but Champions League football and that much money a year, who gonna offer you?
Listen now, Hussam.
Galatasaray?
People think
Ayo,
differently.
can you stop with the nonsense?
No, people think differently, Hussam. Let
Can
me
you
tell you
be
how I think.
realistic? Okay,
So Sam-
stop. Before we shout at each other, let's take this one step at a time. What's the sentence you and TK just agreed on? Osimhen wants Champions League football and that money. Okay?
Mhm.
Champions League clubs, who's going to give Osimhen that much money a year? Realistically.
I mean, Galatasaray.
Okay,
That-
who else?
That's
that's
the
what-
thing.
so that's what
End
he's
of
got.
list. Thank you.
I know, but he got what he wanted, though. He
He
got
got
his
what he
money
wanted.
and Champions League. He's not going to go to United where he doesn't get
Oh,
Champions
he's going to
League.
get Champions League football at Galatasaray. Well done. They're going to get knocked out in the
doesn't-
fucking group
it-
stages.
it-
No,
it
no,
doesn't-
no,
but
Hussam, don't be
listen,
disingenuous.
Again, Hussam. He's going to be able to play against some of the top teams, even if they get knocked out, and he shows what he's made of. Then maybe next season, Galatasaray is
His
looking at
contract's
shooting him
only
up
3 years, by the way. His
Exactly.
contract's 3
It's only
years, so
3 years.
he easily can move on.
He can
and he
easily
can
Three
move
plus
go-
on.
one.
He can
Let's stop
position
being too generous about this.
2 plus
it's
1, so
almost
he
like,
can
oh,
position himself.
Okay,
for like
anyway. Back
Somebody
to United.
So back
Where are
to
you
United.
somebody wanted something and he got it. He
So,
got Champions League
fair.
and he got the salary.
No,
he wanted.
listen, go get your money. I'm just saying, if
Yeah,
I'm in his
so-
place, I'm saying
Yeah,
yes,
can-
that's how the bid the
So here's the
Now,
thing. So when
Can I
think
can
about
I
it-
can I
here's the
say
thing,
my
Cam,
opinion
let's
about
all ask
United?
the $1 million question.
Yeah.
Where are United headed before we go to the Arsenal section?
So
Just
where-
where are United going?
So here it is. If we are continue like I it's tough for me at this point in the window because everyone's like, oh, we're not going to do anything. We know United's going to make moves. We're going to do stuff, and it'll probably be in August. Like last year, we didn't make our first sign until July 14th. Let's keep it a buck. Like we really didn't. So I'm like, we're ahead of the schedule right now. We're seeing that Sancho's going to go, which is good. Everyone was like, oh, we're not going to sell Sancho. We're going to sell him. We're going to sell him for the same amount that Chelsea was supposed to buy him for. Like, here, this is another thing when that drives me fucking nuts about these
Cam
like, some
is so mad at United fans more than anything
like,
else, by the way.
so mad. Like, I don't think you fucking understand. I can't stand it. They're all talking about, like, we should just let these players go and just, like, cut bait and look at, like, remember all the fucking Sancho, the prop that people were doing? I got in fights with United fans about how good he was. He goes to Chelsea and it's like, he's not that good in the Prem. So we have a bunch of players who are distressed assets who
Respect Sancho, man.
he's like, who aren't that good. It's like our best asset right now is Garnacho to sell, which is crazy. It's like I've seen people say we should have taken the 100 million for Bruno. It's like he didn't want to go. If Bruno wanted to go, we would have sold him, but he didn't want to go. Like, this is what drives me nuts about the fan base. So everybody's sitting there saying we should have done this. We need to do this. The realistic thing is what we need to do is change what we've done in the past. Act a bit differently. So where we're heading, if we do get an Ederson, I'd love that signing, by the way. Be a great signing beside Bruno and just a great signing in the future. I also believe take your time to buy a player like Mbeumo. Take your time to get Cunha's because everyone also said stop buying players that aren't good for other managers. Well, guess what? Cunha and Mbeumo, Ederson, like these are players that any manager can use, right? So take your time, get the right players in for the right amount. In my opinion, I think if United get a midfielder in that we're supposed to, a striker, a decent striker. If we get a backup striker like Keane, I'm not that excited. If we get Mbeumo, Cunha, if we get Ederson or another midfielder, I don't know. We've looked at a few. I've seen a few different links to like midfielders I don't really know. But that profile, if we get that profile in, all of a sudden, I like our prospects of getting back into Europa League. We're not going to be a Champions League team next year. Like, and if we are, then that is the biggest overachievement ever, which is something you should be proud of. But at the end of the day, I think if we get the 3 major spots we need to get, I am more than happy to skate to the Europa League again and then go win it the year after. That is where we need to think about where we're heading because truthfully, yeah, this whole like, oh, we finished 15th and we haven't moved fast enough and we're not serious. Like, fuck off. You want us to just keep making all the same mistakes? Then we'll stay in 15th. That's how it's going to happen. Hussam, when you guys were trash for how many years? I don't know, back in 2014 or whatever. What changed your fortune?
We were never this bad though. You're
No,
like
I get it. You were never, you that's your argument. You were never 15th bad, but you were obscurity bad. bad for a bit.
Yeah,
right?
we were like 8th place.
8th, 10th, 9th, back. And everyone's like, oh, I saw Goldberg say, like, oh, United are just going to fall behind because we're not in the Champions League. Arsenal wasn't in Champions League for like 4 fucking years straight. The reason you turn things around.
Longer than that, Cam. It's not 4 years, longer than 4 years.
No, sorry. I'm just saying, like, I'm using, like, I'm
maybe
I'm
like
not-
8 years. I think like
I'm trying not to be
7 or 8 years
hyperbolic.
something.
But guess what? How did you guys turn it around? You changed how you operated.
We got super
built
make
teams. You look at no, but to be fair to Arteta, you did get Arteta in there. I get it, he's plateaued, but you got him in. He had a vision, you followed it, and now look where they are. Look, Hussam, you guys got Salah, Firmino, and Mane in the same year, and that changed your fortunes. You started to see
Not in the same year.
Sorry, it was back. My bad. It was back.
Firmino, then Mane, then Mo.
There's back to back, right? So you built slowly, and you saw it happening. So why all of a sudden for United, it's got to be figure it all out in 1 year? Like, yes, we're out of the Champions League for the first time back to back for a long time. It sucks. I get it. But these fans,
you know what it is. You know what it is, Cam. It's because banter has now become the goggles and the microphone through which every fan speaks through, and that's where the issue is. Like, nobody wants to talk about football the way it is and what's really going on. You know, I've heard people like this season say, "Oh, United this, United that," and I said to myself, a team as big as United that has come 15th will need to take its time and do its homework properly, and not just rush into trying to sort everything out. Like, because of who they were and where they are now, this is where you take stock and say, "All right, cool. We got to go back we got to go back to the drawing board." Like, this is not like, you can banter all you want, but United needs massive surgery. Like,
okay, Dayo, you're saying something about banter. Can I just address this, because you're making a banter thing, right? And I'll be completely objective about this. First of all, I just want this to be the final point on United, so we can speak about Arsenal as well. Here's the thing. Look, it's not about banter. Everyone on the panel have seen his club be shit. We were never 15th shit, number one. Number two, if our clubs finished 15th, we would be out here screaming and demanding for improvements every single day. So I understand what Cam is saying. We don't want it to be like the Glazers. I get that. But at the same time, United could do things a bit more quicker. Meaning, that's prime example. Mbuemo says, fuck Newcastle, fuck Spurs. I only want Manchester United. I agree. Negotiate. I agree. You have to bring the price down. All I'm saying is, don't take a fucking month. Longer than a month now.
Okay,
so in a month and 10.
So my last point. No, wait. I gotta go. But my last point.
Can I just say one sentence? Can I just say one sentence, please? In a month, and we counted it yesterday. In a month and 6 days, they made 2 bids.
Okay, now Hussam, I got it now. Now, like, I hear you, but now I'm gonna go to the point. The only clubs in England, and I don't want to hear about this we're in 15th thing. Just throw that fucking away, because we're just bad. That's the point. Like, I get it. We're in 15th. That's what everybody chicken skewers on the barbecue. So at the end of the day, you gotta hear me out on this one. Out of all the teams that are in the top 6, 8, or whatever it is, the only teams that have made multiple signings are the league winners. Props to you, as you should. You're following Sir Alex, and I know you respect Sir Alex Ferguson, but that's what he used to do, strength to strength. That's how you stay strong. You guys did what you had to do. Chelsea, who were buying for a Club World Cup, they were, and they had to back out. They openly said it. Manchester City, who were buying for a Club World Cup, who also just buy players all the time anyway. Now, let's go down the rest of the teams. Arsenal, who have they bought?
And DK and Dayo will tell you, Arsenal fans have been criticizing the same thing.
No, I get it.
Hold on. Hussam, again.
I don't think using us as an example.
I'm not using you. I'm not using you. My point is, Arsenal, Tottenham, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest. I can go down the list. Who has Newcastle just spent 55 fucking M's on Alanga. Who has bought multiple players so far? Why are we the only team, just because we finished 15th? No, fuck that. Why are we the only team being held to the standard that no other team is being held?
Because you finished 15th.
But no, fuck that.
And because you're looked at by many as the team that's either the biggest or second biggest in the country.
We'll get that, but to me, you're basically saying, United, do everything wrong that you used to do. Pay the money to Brentford, give them ADMs to get it done.
No. And Mbuemo is not wrong at all, because he's
I think the biggest issue I see with United is not the incomings, because you will buy players at the end of the day. I feel like you don't have any outgoings, bro. Because I know you said about Bruno Fernandes and those guys, but I'm talking about like the some other players that you could have just axed from the team. You know what I'm saying? And actually
It's
earned money from
because of
them and buy more
it's the
players. You know
sins
what I'm saying?
of the past, right? The sins of the past. Right now, Ineos is getting blamed for not being able to get rid of a Rashford on 300k a week, for not being able to get rid of a Sancho on 300k a week, for not being able to get rid of well, Garnacho we will get rid of, for not being able to get rid of an Anthony on 200k a week. That is not Ineos' fault.
Cam, can I say something real quick? You see, again, I just like to be objective with these things. Liverpool, your financial year ends May 31st. That's when Liverpool financial year ends, and that's when they can start spending new money. So Liverpool can go ahead and buy in June. Everything that they make as a profit can be put towards this new season, right? You guys can spend this season. United's doesn't start until 1st of July. Well, today's date is the 8th of July. So they're 7 days into their original financial year this year where they can actually spend now. Where if they move a player on, that money goes into this season's purse and not last season. If you move players in June and you sell them really quickly, that money goes into last season's accounting, not this season. You can't respend that money. You've got to pay off the debt from last season. And you have to realize that these clubs are run as a business as well. So they have to wait certain times. Arsenal doesn't start till July 1st. Which is why, again, the Zubimendi deal.
Okay, I understand that
there's
point.
Many reasons. There's many reasons why a club will start negotiating then
That's a good
and
point.
waiting. Now
But I
wait
got
till
ahead.
next week. Wait till next
Big
week
up
and
to
see what
you,
happens
Cam
with
Cam.
Mbeumo.
Enjoy making dinner. Appreciate
And
you,
I'm
my brother.
tired of
Big
these
up to you.
fans, man. Like that's what I'm pissed off about. I'm not even mad at my club yet. I might be. Trust me. If we sign Dominic Calvert-Lewin, if we only sign Moise Keane and some other, listen, then you'll hear me talk my shit about the club. But I can't do it objectively until I see what we do and how we do it.
Do you want to say anything to Netweed before you head out?
Say what?
Do you want to say anything to Netweed before you head out, since you're the United rep? What's the United?
Love Island 15 series. Love Island 15 series. I don't watch Love Island, so I don't even get it.
Big up to you, Cam Cam. Big up to you. Me neither.
Anybody with an alien avatar on their name and watches Love Island, I don't understand.
Don't respect Netweed because he's gonna cook the shit out.
Cook who? Who is he cooking? What?
He's an Arsenal fan, but he's Arteta out. He's just like TK.
I don't care. Who doesn't want to cook? If I turn Nigerian on you,
if Chelsea wins, they will look like champions to you.
Bro,
I mean, they are the club
Netweed is me on steroids, bro. He's on
Forget
steroids,
that nonsense. See, look, let me tell you, TK, it's because I'm on the stream here and I have things to do in my life. I try to be calm. Come and ask people in my real world. They know the mentalo is plenty here. You think you can cook somebody? Shame is not here. Let me just tell you now. Shame, no, they live here.
Okay. Oh yeah, no.
Leave
no sense.
So.
Anyway, let me just listen. Big up to all of you guys. We're gonna talk about Arsenal now next. Actually, perfect for Dayo anger. You get me. Big up to all of you guys. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Every single one of you guys. Please like the video. Please subscribe. Big up to everyone as well who contributes with a like, with a subscribe, with a super chat, whatever it is. So Arsenal Football Club. I started with TK. You get me, because he needs an invite to speak. So we will invite him. Fraud. Gyokeres, the striker that you wanted. Madueke, the winger that you did not want. So one positive, one negative. And it's looking like either one of Eze and Rodrygo. How would you feel about the transfer window?
I mean, not completely satisfied, to be fair, because of the fact that we still buy Chelsea players at the end of the day. And I don't even see the logic in buying Madueke, because I just don't see him as an Arteta player whatsoever, because of his laziness, because of the way that he just plays. I just don't see an Arteta player in there, because I just don't see Madueke track back like Martinelli, for example. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see that. But I'll just begin by saying this. I'm happy that the whole Sesko news have died out, and big up Al Hilal for going for Sesko right now. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for saving us as well with that. I don't like Sesko, Hossam, so I'm very over the moon that we ended up buying the striker that I wanted for 2 years, which is Gyokeres. Big up to him. I'm very happy with that. The one stain on this transfer window is just, for me, is just Madueke, in my opinion. I just don't see him doing bits at Arsenal, and people say, oh, he's just a backup for Saka, but I am hearing that if we buy him, that we cannot buy someone like Rodrygo, for example, because one, we lower our funds, and two, we need outgoings for us to buy Rodrygo if we buy someone like Madueke, for example. But if you go out and spend 50 million for a player like him, that's just bad business, in my opinion. Especially after the Elanga news, because he went for 50 plus 5. If we buy Madueke for 50, who's a much worse player in my opinion, that's just bad
Nah,
business
man,
from us
nah.
overall. No, he is. He is, yeah.
Madueke, I've said it many times. Madueke's ceiling, the best he can get it to is starting for maybe Newcastle or Tottenham. He's a bench player for Chelsea. He's going to be a bench player for Arsenal, unless you don't really want to start him as a left winger.
Okay,
But
so
he's not a terrible player.
But like you said, 50 million bench players, Ziad.
No. Again.
I just want the money, bro.
Again, the 50 million is what Chelsea value him at, right? That's what Chelsea value.
We're willing to sell at 45.
Yeah, so whatever Chelsea value at doesn't mean that that's what we're going to pay. And nobody has said that Arsenal has agreed to pay 50 million. So I don't understand the outburst. Here's my thing. There are 3 things last season that I can say was the reason why we did not do well. Number 1, we did not have a striker. Final. Out. We didn't have a striker. That killed us. 14 draws. We were 14 games away, clinically finishing a goal in every of those games to be able to compete seriously for the title if we had a striker. We didn't have that, number 1. Number 2, squad depth. When major players got injured, we had to hope that we could turn things around somehow to the point where we had Mikel Merino scoring a total of 11 goals, a midfield that turned striker scoring a total of 11 goals. Now, so second thing. Third thing, in-game management. Let me address the striker issue. If we're getting Victor Gyokeres, we're getting a good striker. We didn't have a striker last season. Now we have a striker. I don't want to hear anybody complain. If we're getting Noni Madueke as a backup for Bukayo Saka, which we all complained last season about how many games that boy played, and when he had a hamstring injury, I heard every Arsenal fan going crazy saying, see what we've done to this boy, we've run him into the ground. Now, all of a sudden, the club is saying, okay, while we're getting the striker, I'm looking at the left winger, I'm looking at left midfield with Eze, we're also thinking of bringing somebody in who can support this guy here, whereby Ethan Nwaneri can play in the same role like Martin Odegaard, and we can have him there because that's.
So you're doing Madueke prop, basically.
No, I'm not giving Madueke prop. I'm saying I need squad depth, which was the second.
But Dayo, my question then would be.
Go. I said there were 3 things that killed us last season. 1, we didn't have a striker. We're addressing the striker issue. The second thing, we didn't have enough squad depth that was good enough. This season alone, Kieran Tierney is gone. We have Jorginho is gone. Thomas Partey is gone. I can mention who else is gone. Tomiyasu is out in defense, even though he didn't play, but we still need a defender in that role. So we have 4 or 5 players that are already out. What's his name is leaving. He was on loan at Fulham. So I can list 4 or 5 players that we need to replace. Mm-hmm. So let's not sit here when people like Norgard are coming in, who is not going to be a
starter. Forget Norgard. No one. Let's not fight about Norgard. Madueke, the reason why it's not a good signing for Arsenal is because Nwaneri is better than Madueke already.
Yes, Nwaneri is a midfielder and not a right winger.
He is a right winger, bro. He is a right winger.
Let's stop this thing.
Who played right wing when Saka was injured? Who played right wing when Saka was injured?
Also, Mikel Merino is now a striker because we played him in that position when our strikers were injured. Like what are we doing here?
And he ended up better than Havertz, bro.
When Odegaard was injured.
No, here's my point.
Why didn't Nwaneri play as the 10 when Odegaard was injured?
Again, that's why I said the third thing that killed us was in-game management. I listed 3 things, you were not listening. I said number 1, we didn't have a striker. 2, squad depth. 3, in-game management. Why Ethan did not play in Odegaard's position when Odegaard was injured is on the manager. I blame him for that. That's the third thing I called on my list. So I can list out the reasons, and I'm simply saying Ethan is actually more of a Odegaard's role, an attacking creator, midfielder with the ball, dribble, cutting, shooting. He's not. Yes, he did a good job on the right. Just because Mikel Merino scored those goals doesn't mean Mikel Merino is a striker now. Sometimes you have to find a way to use the players that you have to do what you need them to do. So let's not be disingenuous about it. I still believe that we need an out-and-out right winger to back up Bukayo Saka if he gets injured. That's squad depth for me. That's squad depth for me.
And you don't think there's a better option out there than Madueke for this price?
Listen. I am not saying there's not a better option. I'm saying Chelsea can name their price. We have not agreed to pay that price. Right? My point is, I still want a backup right winger for Bukayo Saka, whoever we choose to get. Now, the first thing I must say to be so that I don't sound like I'm giving Madueke props. We are never going to get somebody who is just one level behind Saka who will come to Arsenal and sit on the bench. That person backs themselves to go to another club and be the main striker there. Kudus will not come to Arsenal and sit behind the bench for Saka. Neither will certain top players. So you can only get players who, just like Ziad said, their benchmark is in Madueke. Those are the kind of players you can get that can come in and be the second person who can play, if there's an injury, play in the Carabao Cup, play in the FA Cup lower teams, smaller teams, and then let Saka get enough rest to play the bigger games. Otherwise, we're going to run into the same problem again. The same problem, So my thing is, It's not about Madueke props. I don't care about that nonsense. I care about squad depth. And if we don't address squad depth, now that we've addressed the striker issue, we're going to be in trouble this season.
Yeah,
We
but
are going to be in
Dayo,
major trouble.
the thing is, you just when you named the players, you named Eze as a left mid. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
left
you
and
are
right. Again, utility squad. See,
yeah,
listen to me.
but you are looking at it from a perspective of using Eze as the main left winger. If we buy all of these players that that Hossam just named, Eze will be our main left winger, correct?
He can play there.
No,
Yeah.
but he will be our main left winger, correct? If we buy
Yeah.
all these players,
Like
not
Dayo
Rodrygo.
completely ignores what me and TK
Yeah.
said.
I
Yeah.
agree. I
So
said yeah.
Eze would be the main left winger. Okay. First of all,
Yeah.
that, in my opinion, that's his not his best position. I feel like his best position is still the midfield. What you say about Nwaneri, I see Eze doing. You know what I'm saying? Being the midfield rotation piece together with Odegaard. Nwaneri being the Saka backup. And then you have the money, the 40, 50 million that you save up from Madueke, go out and buy someone like Rodrygo, who can be an actual main left winger for this team. So
Again,
Hossam's list is
TK,
almost correct. If we bought, instead of Madueke, if we bought Rodrygo, for example, Eze,
Dayo, listen to
and
understand. He's
I'm
actually
listening.
making a
listening.
good point.
yeah,
I promise.
I'm
and
listening.
using Ethan as a right wing option, as a backup for Saka, which he will get game time, by the way, because his issue right now is game time. And if we buy Madueke, we hinder him getting game time as well, because now you
Right.
have Eze who can play midfield as well, and Arteta is not going to play Ethan over Eze. That's not going to happen. He didn't even.
And I want to
He
say one
even,
thing as
bro.
well.
He
Just
even
to
played
go ahead,
Trossard over Ethan, bro. He even
Okay,
played Trossard over
let
Ethan
me
at the
so
number
let me
10.
wait.
so can I address something?
Let,
So
let,
that
me, let, me,
you-
let
so
me
that you
speak. Let me
listen.
speak.
I
Dayo,
listen.
let me
Can I
speak. There's
respond?
something that I want to address. This is important because Adam is saying it's Eze and Rodrygo Madueke with Rodrygo as priority according to reports. Guys, I'm begging you, please. Even Saad came to terms with it. Even today, Ashraf came to terms with it. Guys, I'm begging you. Please, let's put the fries on the bag and buying both of them. Eze is not going to come to Arsenal in a World Cup year to sit on the bench. Let's all be respectful. Let's all have brains here. Gyokeres is now the starting striker. Everyone agree? Yes, everyone agree.
Yes.
Even our rival fan will tell you Gyokeres is the starting striker. Everyone agree Saka's the starting right winger? Yes. Everyone agree based on Arteta that Odegaard is the starting 10? Yes. Now one
Yep.
of Eze or Rodrygo will be signed to play left wing. That's it. That's now your front four there
Okay, so
confirmed.
I like how you sit
Dayo,
here.
Habib,
And,
just
no,
one second.
you
One,
can't.
I promise I'm gonna give you
Okay.
full floor without interrupting you once. Just
All
one
right,
second.
go on.
Right wing gonna be Saka. Left wing gonna be one of Eze or Rodrygo. On up top is gonna be Gyokeres, and the 10 is gonna be Odegaard. Let's stop creating false scenarios where I'm gonna go buy Eze to bring him back up. I'm gonna buy Olise to bring him back up.
Okay.
These are actually the things that the people that Dayo opposes an opinion say. Like, just buy the best of the best and they're happy. Like, no. Even competition needs to be like, okay, let me say it this way. Competition needs to be objective and realistic. So, with Salah, right? I'll use my own club as an example so people don't get triggered. Salah is the starting right winger at Liverpool. By definition, I cannot bring someone of Salah's quality to fucking compete with him to be backup. It's just illogical. So the backup right winger is fucking Chiesa, Elliott, Shaqiri. You know, everyone can acknowledge levels below Salah. And that's the point.
Okay.
So when it comes to Arsenal's
I need
captain,
to
when
say
it comes,
something real quick.
Dayo, I'm landing it.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Arsenal captain, I cannot expect that Mikel Arteta is gonna buy Eze, who is of similar quality level to Odegaard, to play on the bench. It's just unrealistic. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so let's do the maths here.
Do that.
Eze is up for 60 million for his release clause, and the release clause, as reported, since we're all going by as reported,
Yeah,
here,
3
now,
years. Yeah, 20
as
million. 3
reported
years.
for 3 years. So why would I be happy if they went to get Eze, pay 20 million only, right? Because it's a 3-year release clause. So all you spent is 20 million. You get me Gyokeres for 70. You probably put down maybe 40 and amortize the rest, because you have to realize
Correct.
that there's amortizations with a lot of these sales. So if Arsenal has a budget
100%.
of 200, if Arsenal has a budget of 200 million, right, and you can guarantee a player playing time, say, listen, you are my Champions League squad. It will be Eze, Odegaard, and Zubimendi. I want 2 creatives in the Champions League. In the league, I would use you in this game and in the FA Cup. There's 70-something games to play. You're going to play this. You're going to, like, let's be realistic. But we're not going to sit here and act like there's not a lot of games to play this season. If your club can get you an Eze to play when Martin Odegaard is out, and then you can play Ethan Nwaneri for the cup competitions, why not?
Okay,
I don't think you will like what I'm gonna say.
I'm
Dayo.
Eze, you're Arteta. Explain to me. So your logic is okay. Hi, Eze, you want to sign for Liverpool? Perfect. By the way, sorry, you want to sign for Arsenal? Perfect. We're gonna play you when Odegaard gets injured. That's what you just said. Not me. That's what you just said verbatim.
No, I'm giving examples again. You see, you see what you're doing now.
But,
I simply
but
said,
Sam,
hold on. Okay, hold on.
but what if I say Eze is good enough to actually replace Odegaard?
Yeah, fair
Captain
enough.
or not?
Captain or not, fair enough.
You
That's
say that.
ruthlessness.
Dayo might
ruthlessness.
say that. I might say that. But
That's
your manager
ruthlessness.
is Mikel Arteta. He's
No,
not going to drop Odegaard. That's
But you don't know that for a fact,
Okay,
Osam.
He rushed him back from injury. I do know that for a fact.
Don't do
Okay,
that
but
for a fact.
why
don't
did he
know
buy
that for a fact.
Gyokeres then if Havertz is his son? Why did he buy Gyokeres?
I'm so glad you asked that. Here's the thing. Would it
Like, what are we
shock
doing here?
you, and I mean shock you, if first game week Havertz starts up top? Be objective.
I wouldn't be shocked. No, I
Thank you
wouldn't.
very much. Thank you.
No, but I'll say
I mean,
this. If,
but
if-
one
hold on,
game,
sorry,
but
TK,
one
TK,
game
you're on
week
question,
doesn't.
by the
Okay,
way.
but bro, one game week doesn't change the consistency
Hosam is doing this.
that's
I'm
gonna
not
happen
changing
throughout the league. You
anything.
understand?
If you ask me right now, guys,
guys,
three of us are talking about. If you ask me right now, Joker is going to be the starting striker for Arsenal. I acknowledge that. I'm going, okay, Athletic says, don't be surprised if Havertz gets games. What I think is, Havertz is going to be the backup striker, Joker is the starter, no problem. Now, one of Trossard or Martinelli will leave, no problem. Even if you sign Eze and Rodrygo, they're not going to compete with each other for the left wing, because Rodrygo is not going to come from Real Madrid to Arsenal, with all due
Eze might
respect,
not even play left
except
wing.
rotating with Eze. Let's be
Eze
serious.
might not
He
even
would
play
be our
wing.
main left wing straight away.
TK.
Okay,
Does
so
anybody
Eze is
know-
not going to
let me ask you a question. Do you know how many times?
But Hussam, I don't think you understand, bro. A lot of people are done with Odegaard. Not me, by the way, not
TK,
me. I feel
TK,
like he could be
I
a
was-
good squad option. but
Arteta
Odegaard-
isn't, though.
But
You don't
no,
know
but
that.
listen,
You don't know that.
if you bring in someone like Eze, who's an
I
actual,
do know that.
You know why Hussam is disingenuous, right? I can't take this from you, Hussam. You just said verbatim right now that okay, well, you don't know why he bought Gyokeres over Havertz that he loves so much. That shows that he can be ruthless. Again, last season, do you know how many times Martin Odegaard was subbed? Do you know how many times Martin Odegaard was subbed last season
I don't know.
as a
a
captain?
lot of games.
A lot of games. A lot of games. Not
Yeah.
even, I'm not talking 10, 12, almost 27 games where the captain was subbed out of the game. And I'm not talking subbed at 80 minutes, 85 minutes, subbed at 65, subbed at, 60, subbed at 70.
So
Sometimes.
you're making the claim that Arteta's done with Odegaard. Is that your claim?
When
No,
I say,
he's not done with Odegaard, but he's not undroppable. That's the
he's
thing.
looking at him and saying, look, man, dude, this is my last chance. I don't care right now. I will bring Eze in to show you.
But then
what I
where's
know.
Nwaneri playing?
Listen, hold on. Nwaneri, again, as
Saka
good
backup.
as good as that kid is, I still would say this. He is not ready to be the one to carry us over the line to take us to win the Premier League. Let's stop this nonsense. He's a talented
No one
kid.
said
He's
that.
great.
No one said that. No
So
one said
exactly. So if I don't have Odegaard, am I going to trust Itano Nwaneri or Eberechi Eze? I would trust Eberechi Eze. And Odegaard has showed me last season. I've hooked him.
Oh, you
and-
notice how all your arguments start with if I don't have Odegaard? You notice this?
No, because he's the captain.
You're
for
doing
now.
your own
He's
self with
still-
the
he's still-
argument.
No, he's still
but
the
Hussam,
captain.
I
He's
am
still the
saying
captain
even
for
if
now,
I have
Hussam.
Odegaard, I would play Eze.
Yeah,
That's
he's
what I'm
still
saying.
Listen, Hussam, he's still the captain for now, which is why I said if I don't have, because as the captain, you're still expecting. If you hook him as the captain come preseason and you say, look, my new captain is Declan Rice, fairs. If the season starts and you start Eze without starting Odegaard, I don't mind. But again, there's a way you treat your captain, regardless of how much you want to hook him. And if Arteta is brutal enough to do it, then he should go ahead and do it. Rodrygo on the left. if
Okay,
that
your
happens,
argument is that. My argument is I do not think.
again,
there is-
Eze for
this is
20
what I'm
million. this
basing
year,
my
hold on.
argument on. I'm saying, Dayo, how do
Eze
you
for 20
interrupt me
million
after
means
my
that you still
argument?
have funds to
You
still
didn't
go for
even hear
Rodrygo.
what I said. Directly, you interrupted.
And
My
also,
argument is,
Hussam, we have like
I
50
do not
DMs.
think
We have
that
no camps, bro.
Arteta will drop Martin Odegaard this season. I just don't think he will. And that's just my logic about it. And objectively speaking, I don't think you could convince Eze or Rodrygo to sit on the bench.
Mhm.
I think you're going to get one of the two. So your front three is going to be Eze / Rodrygo. I don't know which one. up top Gyokeres, on the right Saka. The backups to them will be one of Trossard or Martinelli, and then you sell the other. Havertz, backup striker, backup right winger, Ethan Nwaneri. Noni Madueke, because we're just going based off of what's reported. So that is going to be the Arsenal front six.
If we go by what is reported again, let's go by what the Athletic said. The Eze deal does not affect the Rodrygo deal. But going by what is reported, it says that Arsenal still wants to go for Rodrygo and Eze simultaneously. You want to go by what is reported? Let's go by that. That's what the Athletic said. I didn't say it,
Sam.
so you can't sit here and then all of a sudden.
Okay, no problem. They're saying they're separate deals. No problem. I think they might.
If you say you want to go by what's reported,
that's what I think the Arsenal logic are. I think they might be agreeing with Arsenal terms for this reason, because if Rodrygo does say, and Dayo and TK, you're both smart individuals, that's not bullshit here. Don't tell me grand work, blah, blah, blah. Let's all be objective about this. If Rodrygo does come out and say, I want to leave Real Madrid, you know that there's about fucking 10 clubs that will be in for him.
Of course.
All sorts of different narratives do you know there's a dangerous scenario for us all that will make us all fucked, which is if City get Rodrygo. You've got the Liverpool getting Rodrygo reported today, Graham Bailey and ESPN Brazil.
It's not
you got
impossible.
PSG getting Rodrygo. You got
If
Bayern
Diaz
Munich.
leaves.
Literally, I'm being literal right here. Every fucking elite club in Europe will want Rodrygo. Chelsea, by the way, as well.
Again, Hossam, can I say this again? The reports from going by the reports, like we like to say here today, because it's transfer season and the transfer window period. Going by the reports, Rodrygo is the top of the list. There's other people on that list for the left wing for Arsenal, which means the same way we wanted Sesko, we wanted Gyokeres, and when RP Leipzig started acting like left legs, we decided, all right, let's go for the next person on the list.
Yeah, and I think Eze is plan B.
Listen, and Eze is not on that list. According to the reports, again, Eze is a separate deal because Eze is just 20 million this year, which frees up more money for you to still do some more stuff. If you go in and pay 20 million for Eze's release clause now, it's a 3-year release clause. Why would you then settle and say Eze is going to play on the left when you still have at least another 40, 50?
No problem.
And also one thing.
I'm coping. You can say whatever you want. All I'm saying is I do not see a world in which Arsenal sign Eze and Rodrygo together. We let TK have the final word, and then we'll do the super chat and end the stream. Go on, TK.
Yeah, and also one thing. Outside of the fact that it's been reported that the Eze deal is outside of the Rodrygo deal, separate. What I do worry about is that if we buy Madueke, that would be the separate signing outside of Eze. You know what I'm saying? That's the only worry I have. But
that's not what they meant by that, though.
But what I do think, and this is me being genuine, I don't think they see Eze as a left wing option. I think they see him as a midfield option, because we have a lot of defensive midfielders. We lack in a lot of attacking midfielders, bro. Because outside of Odegaard, who do we have as an attacking option? You know what I'm saying? In the midfield, not much, not any. If you ask me, you know what I'm saying? We even also came to the point that we played Merino, Rice, and Partey at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Against Bournemouth, and we lost that game. You know what I'm saying? There could also be a scenario where you play Odegaard and Eze at the 8, for example, and then you play Rice at the 6 or Zubimendi at the 6. Give Rice some rest, because Rice has been also working his socks off for these last 2 seasons as well, to the point that he broke his toe and we still played him. You know what I'm saying? We need midfield options as well, and I feel like Eze would be the perfect midfield option this team needs, because we need attacking midfielders. That's the whole reason why I went on different channels and said I want Morgan Rogers, because we need those kinds of options in this team. And Eze would be the perfect target for this midfield. And like I said, if I had to pick between these two, it should be Rodrygo at the end of the day. Because Rodrygo can also play the 10. Rodrygo can also play left wing. We should prioritize him in any case. And if we cannot get him, buy Eze, but do not buy Madueke. Go bring that 50 million and buy Lookman, because he's the same price. You know what I'm saying? Let's not do this and buy Madueke at the end of the day.
Let me tell you this. Ademola Lookman, right? The player that I know who plays for Nigeria will not come and sit on the bench for Bukayo Saka. Ademola Lookman will not come to Arsenal and want to sit on the bench. Here's where the problem is again. The quality of player that you're asking them to bring. Now, we understand that the market might be crazy and prices might...
I'm not saying he should be a backup for Saka.
No, I'm saying, but even to come and play... If you bring in Ademola Lookman on the left, okay, you want to bring him on the left and bring Eze in, right? Who are you rotating for who? Again, Ademola Lookman, if he comes in and plays on the left wing for 50 million, fairs. Okay, put him on the left. Does he get us over the line? Rodrygo.
You've been
probably
called out
gets us
by
over the line.
Fonzie. You challenged him. Watch this. Odegaard, Premier League last season, subbed
Mhm.
1 time in the 60th minute and 3 times in the 70th. Lol.
Yeah,
There
so
you go.
that's 4 times. Odegaard was out for 3 months. Odegaard was out for 3 months last season with injury. So how many games in total did he play, and how many was he sub for? Do your maths. Don't come here with all these stats. He was
Here
out
we
for
go.
3 months last season. He was out for 3 months last season. So how many games did he play? And then look at how many times he was subbed and how many appearances that.
Okay, how many Premier League appearances Odegaard made? 30.
So you sit here and tell me, like, when you're subbing your captain even in the Champions League.
So
you're
4
reviewing your
times
captain.
out of 30, he was subbed off 70th minute or before. That's not a lot of times.
That's not a lot of times for a captain who was out, who also in
We
the
keep
Champions
saying
League was
captain,
subbed
he's
off.
a midfielder.
No, but saying 70th minute or before is very specific. You know what I'm saying?
I said that
What if
very
it's the
specifically.
75th minute? What
No,
is
but
the
that was
75th
Dayo's
minute?
argument. He said
I know,
not
I said no,
80th minute.
but I did
Oh,
mention.
okay,
I
he
said
was
fair,
like
fair.
60th
I did
minute,
mention.
bro.
I said he was subbed off as a captain 70th or 60th many times as well. This is more than 2-3 times. That's as a captain, dude. What are we talking about here? If he has not
Okay,
subbed off
let
at
me
75,
read
80 as
these
well.
two.
So what's he
طيب
saying?
let me read these two so we can wrap up. زياد إذا بدك تروح تبدا روح ابدا حبيبي. We shouldn't sign Eze then because he isn't a left winger. Listen, this is the stuff. This Crayon Dave, you know I love you, but this stuff we completely disagree on. I hate this bullshit of he's a left 10. Okay, Arsenal do not play with a left 10. So let's allow this be extra stuff like Jeremy Frimpong is a right wing back. So he shouldn't play right back. That's not how football works. When you sign Eze, you look at the two other positions. He's either going to play 10 or left wing. Objectively speaking, left wing is going to be his position. That's it. And actually, with a beast like Gyokeres up top, you would need that creativity from left wing to feed the beast. That's what I'm saying. But as reported, Eze is independent of the winger. Yeah, but what the TKA scenario could be true. The independent of the winger scenario could be Madueke. You never know because they didn't specify. It was not specific like it's 100% Rodrygo and Eze. That's not this. That's not what they said.
Sorry. I like what that guy did, but he's being disingenuous. In total, Odegaard was sub 13 times last season out of 30 games.
There you go. When I said 70th TKA, that was the whole of the 70th to the 79th minute.
Yeah, your captain was sub 13 times and twice in the Champions League. 15 games in all competitions that he appeared in. What are we doing here?
That's still not a lot, by the way.
13 games is 30 for your captain. So he played 17 full games. 17 games is what he played full for the whole season.
Freddie Mercury even talk. He actually spoke a lot in the Arsenal in the Chelsea section, Ed. So I can't blame him for today. How do Madrid and PSG do it if they have quality? They have quality on the bench. Yes, I agree with what you're saying, African Cat. But where the fuck it went? But at the same time, I'm just saying this. Look, we have to be objective in terms of quality on the bench. Okay, you look at the striker position currently at Arsenal. Objectively, Havertz being bench player for Gyokeres makes sense. When it comes to players, if you have an elite level player, he will refuse to sit on the bench. And with all due respect, and I'm going to be very respectful, and I'm not going to bullshit, and I think even TKA and Dayo will agree with me. PSG, before the season started, have 0 elite level players. Before the season started. Forget now in hindsight. Before a ball was kicked, Vitinha, reject. Joao Neves, oh look, another Benfica signing. Fabian Ruiz, good midfielder, nothing special. Pacho, haha. Marquinhos, haha. Hakimi, everyone rated. We know that. Nuno Mendes, people rated as well. Fair enough. People even said, what's his name? Donnarumma, Bozo moments.
Yeah.
So when it comes to elite players, when you say elite players benched for elite players, that's bullshit because that never existed in history. Who's the fucking elite players to bench elite players? That doesn't exist anywhere. Literally nowhere. And funnily enough, you say PSG, right? And Madrid. Look at this. Rodrygo now want to leave. Barcola now want to leave. See?
Yeah.
Because Bradley Barcola is not going to sit another season on the bench. And Rodrygo is not going to sit another season on the bench.
But that's what we're saying. But that's what we're saying, though. That's
when it comes to backup. And by the way, this is something that applies to all clubs, Dayo. This is literally like 20 Premier League clubs. Bro, and that's why I agreed with you what you said on Lookman, by the way. You are correct, Dayo. And TK wasn't even saying backup right wing. He was saying backup left wing. But it's still true. I'll tell you why. When it comes to bench level players, Endo happily sits on the bench at Liverpool. No problem. Curtis Jones sits on the bench. But with all due respect, McAllister is here, Endo is here. There is levels to this game. The starter should always be, maybe one position on the pitch I can accept, but the starters should always be levels above the bench players, and the bench players should be able to come in and make a difference.
And that's why for me, honestly speaking, the only thing that I say Ethan doesn't have in that 10 position is a lot of experience, and it's a risk to actually say, oh, let's just throw him in right now and make sure that he's the one that carries the club in case something happens to that position, which is why Eze, for me, comes and challenges and takes that position. If Odegaard wants to be put on the bench, put him on the bench and make Declan Rice your captain. It's that simple. And then on the right wing, if Noni Madueke is the guy on the right wing coming off for Bukayo Saka in the FA Cup, I don't mind. Play the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Let Saka rest. But we're not going to get a top right winger like Bukayo Saka to play and stay on the bench for Saka when they back themselves to go to another club and play there.
Yeah, 100%.
For example, my thing would be, look at this. Put 20 million down for Eze, right? Go put down whatever down payment you need for Rodrygo of the 80 or 90 or 100 million they ask you. 50, give them 50. That's 70 for this year in your financial books. The same thing for Noni. Noni, they want 50, give them 30. Pay 15 down, amortize 15, right? So now you are 95. Right? Plus the 55 you paid for Martin Zubimendi. Okay, what else do you need now? Basically, just go in and do that. And then make sure that you have backup for everybody. Last season was crazy that Mikel Merino became our striker, the guy we were depending on to score goals. For God's sakes, what are we talking about here? You want us to go into this season as well? Look, if Martinelli is going to be the backup for Rodrygo, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, and he should accept it too.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Last season, did I not tell you that I'm happy to put 75 million Kai Havertz as my backup striker? I am. That shows that I'm doing. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I've said that last season. So for me, getting me a guy that can put the ball.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Me and you are in agreement. So just to end everything, because I do want to end the stream. So it's 2:48 a.m. So here's the thing. Me and Dayo are in agreement on this point. At the end of the day, even Arsenal fans, when in the chat, if you're gonna bring up a backup, like bring up a realistic backup, please. Don't go OTT. Like that's what we're saying. Anyway, regardless, listen. Love to every single one of you guys. Thank you guys so much. TKA Football is in the description. Go give him a subscribe. He's a streamer now. Banter on the Pitch is in the description. Go give him a subscribe, please. And you get me. This stream is going to take you over to Ziad's zone. Freddie Mercury. Spam in his chat, please, Freddie Mercury, please. Just spam in his chat, Freddie Mercury. Here you go. Just copy-paste this right here. You get me? So... yeah, exactly. Salah backup can be Conceição. Don't tell me Salah backup can be Saka. Like, that's just not realistic, innit? So
it's never going to happen. You know.
No, I'm saying like level, in terms of level. Like, oh, let's go sign Lamine Yamal to be Salah backup. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, but we are saying we want Kvara and we want to bench Barcola. And Barcola is Odegaard and Kvara is Eze. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah, and
everyone spam Freddie Mercury in Ziad's
guess what?
chat.
See, ZK, this would be a good time to bring in Eze for Odegaard, and I'll tell you why. It's either of two things. It's either he jeers Odegaard back into his best so that he fights for that position, or guess what? We will have a second backup as Odegaard who's just almost as good as Eze for this season. If that's the perfect, like this is the perfect time to bring players like that. Having a Martinelli seeing Rodrygo take his position then says, I've got to either do better, or you know what? I know that next summer I'll be out, but at least this season you will have a Rodrygo and a Martinelli. You will have a Bukayo Saka. And probably, right now, as reported, since we're going by what's reported, a Noni Madueke. But then you would have an Eze, Odegaard, and an Ethan Nwaneri in that position. On the other side, you will have a Declan Rice, Mikel Merino in that position. In the back, you have Zubimendi. You have Declan who can play there as well. And then you have Norgard. What are we? And then for defense, we've lost defenders. Bring in one or two people as well.
Your own point, by the way, is literally my whole point anyway. Like Norgard would accept being backup at Arsenal 100%. So that's my point. Like, we have to be objective when it comes to backup. Anyway, guys, spam Freddie Mercury in Ziad Zone's chat. Love you all, and I'll see you guys back tomorrow at 5 p.m. UK time. Peace out.